As I sent Chris Cody with one assignment last night to his father's house to record wherever it is the debauchery headed. And what I got this morning in terms of video and pictures was somewhere on the spectrum between sad and haunting. He looked broken, just the physical, the performance that you would want from a performer was nowhere to be found as he just sat slumped in his chair in a dark room, that looked like it had paneling instead of walls. And it's because he hasn't refurbished some of the things in his home since the last time I was there in 1989, and so the room was not well lit. So we will get some of those photographs, but I expected to see someone who was hopped up on half a dozen beers getting started before the game, and instead it was just from the very beginning. There was no patriotism in that room. It looked a bit like solitary confinement.
Like you take it that serious, the U.S. national team?
Yeah, that's my home team. That's it. Le Batard always says I'm a homer. I am a homer when it comes to the U.S. teams, whether it's in the Olympic hockey final, whether it's last night's game. Yes, I cheer unabashedly and admittedly, I cheer for the U.S. team.
It is honestly embarrassing how all his journalistic integrity goes out the door. Every single foul should be in favor of the U.S. Every call that's against them is a bad call. Like, I'm sitting there like, oh, that was actually a decent call. Like, I'm rooting as hard as he is for the U.S., but I can sit there and say, okay, this or that was a good or bad call. He is just like bullcrap call. Like, you should.
Is that
cheater?
True?
No.
The cheater. He like anytime there's like a foul against Belgium, he's just like, look at that cheater.
Well, you yell cheater?
In that one instance, I did, but I can also be critical. When goalkeeper Matt Freese made that boner of a play to have us go down 3-1, all hope collapsed. That was a play I might make as a backup goalkeeper on a college club team in 1979. To see that in a World Cup is absolutely embarrassing.
But why do you have this type of passion, unabashed passion for the USMNT and like not for the Miami Heat or not for the Miami Dolphins or the Florida Panthers?
Yeah, because those are the home teams. I need to be impartial, and I am impartial. Like, when I'm covering a Dolphin game in the stadium in a press box.
You are not impartial.
I am totally impartial.
You are not totally impartial.
No.
You are totally not impartial.
Okay, I don't separate myself from my background, which is one of my strengths. I grew up down here. I was at the first Dolphin game ever.
Where would that rank as far as your strengths go?
Maybe low top 10.
Really?
Yeah, low top 10.
Now, is it a real top 10 or is it a
That's
top
gonna be
10
top
if
20.
you start thinking about it, it's going to be 70 long and then it's not going to be in the top 10 anymore?
Yeah, it could be a top 25. But, no, I was embarrassed. And when you say there was no patriotism in that room, that's ridiculous because I think even Christopher got a photo. I had flags. I had red, white, and blue all over the place.
Would you do me a favor, please?
Yeah.
Can you write down your top 5 strengths? I'd like to do that. I'd like to go over that during the course of the show. I'd like to unveil that here as we start the show. If you can just put that together during this open.
Okay. No, I didn't.
We're going to the open now,
Okay,
Greg.
fine.
It's the Dan Le Batard Show.
Greg Cody is very busy right now and will be out of the show here for a few seconds as he hurriedly makes a list of his top 5 strengths. Chris, what do you believe to be any of your father's strengths? Like, what do you think is going to be on his list? Because he's working very diligently on that. And also, we have a Greg Cody superfan who has listened to all the episodes of the Greg Cody Show featuring Greg Cody podcast. And that person has ranked the top 6 Greg Cody episodes of all time and the bottom 6 Greg Cody episodes of all time. So I look forward to getting to that list, but not as much as he looks forward to getting to it because he is the king of narcissism. If he had a land, it would be called narcissism.
Yeah, I was going to say, that's definitely one of his strengths, narcissism. If we're being serious, he'd say cooking is something.
Didn't make my top 5.
Writing, I imagine writing would be one of his strengths. Is your list complete? It's
Yeah,
oh,
sure.
wow. Okay. All right.
I didn't curate it. I mean, I didn't really give it much thought. It's sort of an off the top of the head thing.
And speaking of writing, he did tell me before the show, Dan, that if a certain NBA player were to sign in Miami, during the show today or tomorrow, he's going to have to get up right away and go write a column about it.
Correct.
So
I'm on call for a LeBron column, no matter his decision. If it's made while I'm on this air, I need to make the column my priority for about 30 minutes or 45.
Okay, but if you're on call for whether he decides Miami or not, why don't you just start writing the column?
There's background written. I mean, we used to call it a matter. Sure, when you're on deadline with a column or you know what the subject is ahead of time, obviously you start writing certain things that are going to be in the column.
Greg, you're on call. Hello.
Yes, thank you.
we will do the bit that we did last time, if that happens, where we'll set you up in the green screen room and we will just bug you throughout the entire time you're writing the column.
Sure you will.
He just got to say that without getting
What?
kicked out of here?
No, that was excellent.
No, it's not a bit, and no, he's not allowed to say that, and
Awesome.
Minor penalty, 2 minutes for
Greg,
explaining
help
the
me
show.
here.
You know what? That was the line of the day. Tony saying, if LeBron makes a decision, I am on call. That was
The
excellent.
penalty's not for you, Tony. The penalty for explaining the show is on Chris Cody for saying that there was
Wow.
a bit in the other room. He gets a loser game show sound for that joke. It's not a
wow.
good joke, but you don't get penalized and sent to the other room.
harsh.
Chris was taking pictures. He was doing production work late at night, but came back with nothing. And this isn't acceptable. You guys all the time as producers get sent out into the wild. I'm still mad at Amin and Sean McGill for spending a bunch of money in New York and coming back with 80 seconds of footage and could get no internet while they were there. Just wasted the company's money, the two of them.
Better than me when me and Amin went to Cleveland and got nothing.
Barely better. But yes. Amin leads Meadowlark in going and spending money and coming back with nothing. No one does that better than Amin. That's his corner. He's got that locked down. So let's look at a picture of Greg Cody back in happier times. This is just before the game started. You can see light, radiance. You can see on his face he is ready to go. That's 6 or 7 beers in, I'm guessing. But now, very soon thereafter, and we will talk about this at length, I suspect, because I'd like to know whether or not you guys are disappointed. Here's Greg Cody very soon thereafter when he realizes, Belgium's just going to hold the ball all game and we're not going to have any chances. And the goalkeeper, who we decided on a week before the World Cup, had 4 years to get one of those. A week before, we still don't know who's going to be the keeper. And that's why. Okay, he's going to allow a ridiculous goal that reminds you of Greg Cody in 1979 when he was the backup goalkeeper on his intramural team, just flying out and doing the Youngway coup kick of just kicking the ground in front of the ball as if you've never played soccer before, never done anything.
Why
with
did he
your
do
feet.
that?
Even I've never done that.
To be fair, he's in goal, right? He's not usually out there. He's like, okay, what do I do here? The guy's behind me. Where is he? I don't know.
No, we don't need to be fair there. You can't do that on the World Cup stage. Now, before we get to you guys, because I'm unsurprised by the American delusional reaction of entitlement where you expect something more. And if you're going to lose, I would have preferred some drama. I would have preferred, overtime, close game, penalty kick, something. Just not a waste of our time last night watching that game because you see fairly instantaneously. You had 2 minutes where you were excited. 2. You got 2 whole minutes where you tied the game. But the problem afflicting the United States is that they are in the college football rankings, others receiving votes in the world. What they just did is what they are. And their problem is they don't have a star. They don't have one of those. And you keep selling me Pulisic, but he turned the ball over 11 times, lost possession in 45 minutes, more than anybody on the field. They do not have a star. American soccer has been trying to tell us for 4 or 5 decades that we are going to get on the world stage with the elite, and they don't have anyone who represents stardom. These numbers are startling, but it's what the United States is. I will get to your disappointment in a second. But we're now 1-6 in the round of 16. All 6 of the losses, 0 goals or 1 goal. They can't score. When it gets deeper and deeper into this, and you're playing against the teams that are as good or as you or better, you're just another team running around out there wasting everybody's time. And so where are you guys? Because they made the mistake of inflating hope, and now people are extra disappointed today. The criticism is coming hard, and it's coming hard for only two players as far as I can tell. It's the keeper and it's Pulisic.
Yeah, I feel like you're overreacting. I feel like you overreacted last week when you said it was already a monumental success just for the U.S. to reach the round of 16.
I didn't say a monumental success.
I think you did.
I just said it's a successful World Cup run to get to the round of 16.
And it wasn't, because that's the average. That's where they're stuck in a rut. Getting beyond the round of 16 would have made it a success. And when you say they don't have a great scorer, if you're saying they don't have an Mbappe or a Messi
they don't
or
have
a Kane,
star.
Of course you're right.
They don't have a star. They were about to play. When you guys are sitting here telling me they can win the World Cup, and I'm like, what the hell are you talking about?
Okay.
They don't have a star. All the remaining teams have stars. The teams expected to win, the favored teams, have people who score goals.
Okay, you just said that they're one of the other teams also receiving votes, to use the college football analogy. They were ranked 15th in the world going into this game out of more than 200 nations playing.
Yeah, but that's
football.
like your top 15. It moves up and down, and you can fall into the top 25 when we change the list.
Okay, they were in the top. They were 13 a couple of weeks before the World Cup. They've been as low as 17 in the last couple of years. They're a top 20 team. Obviously, they're not where they need to be, but neither are they an also receiving votes
Greg,
team.
they're the bottom of the top 16, and they just got knocked out in the round of 16.
Right, which means it is not a successful World Cup like you said it was last week. It isn't. It was an average, it was a typical World Cup performance for the U.S. team with a fairly easy run to the 16 and with home field advantage. It was an ordinary World Cup for the U.S. men. It was not a success by any measure whatsoever.
I think it's a I don't think it's just disappointment. I think it's a massive disappointment what happened. Not only to the way that they lost last night, but Greg makes a good point about it being an easy run. Why was it an easy run? Well, because they're the host country, and so you get to be slotted into the top tier, which of course means that your group matches are going to be much easier than you actually deserve. So in a year where they got the great draw being in the top tier as a host nation, they didn't even advance past where they routinely get to. I mean, miss me with the whole they won the knockout round game. Round of 32 only exists this year. It's the first time it's ever existed. Like, they literally got to the exact point that they always get to. And this time, they got their shit kicked in, okay? They don't always get their shit kicked in the round of 16. Last night, they did.
What is that phrase? Someone help me with that phrase. I've been hearing it for a long time. And what happens? I go to the bathroom, I shit, and then someone kicks it, and it goes back in? Like, what is that phrase?
Well, they're kicking your ass so hard that the shit is going back.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
It's like,
Okay.
take me right in the ass.
All right, I see.
Yeah.
I thought you had the shit kicked out of you. That's what
That's
I
what I
always-
thought, but evidently it was kicked out of us, and then it was kicked back in because Belgium held the ball all game. And the part that was disappointing about last night, beyond the fact that they injected a bit of hope into our country, that was not interesting, fun. There was nothing to watch there that indicated to you at any point after the first 30 minutes that the United States was going to do much of anything.
Like Dan, you mentioned that Belgium just held the ball the whole game. I don't think that was the case at all. In the second, like the first half, U.S. was awful. Holy shit! We were the worst team in the World Cup in the first half. They were so bad in that first half. At least in the second half, the U.S. had the ball pretty much the entire half, but they get no chances. They get no shots. They had 2 shots, not shots on goal. Well, they were also shots on goal, but 2 total shots, only 1 in the second half all game.
I misspoke if you heard, if what I said is that that Belgium possessed the ball. There were no reasonable threats for the United States that gave you any reason to think, like the thing that caused all the hope, the first game against Paraguay, where they're controlling the ball and they're attacking and they're aggressive, and you see that they're threatening. There was nothing in the way of threat during that game.
Well, Garcia changed up the lineup too. They took out De Bruyne. They took out a bunch of people. And we're like, okay, that's what you're going to do to this team. Like the U.S. may have a chance. And then Pulisic just got bullied.
Oh, he
the
stunk.
entire game that he was out there, completely bullied. Did not look like he played soccer whatsoever.
Pulisic had 17 touches the entire game. a minuscule total.
He lost the ball 11 times. He lost possession 11 times in 45 minutes.
He had an abysmal game, and the whole attacking of the U.S. last night, they couldn't get to the end line for crosses. They couldn't earn corner kicks.
No chances.
Everything was stuck in. They were constipated in midfield. They couldn't move it in and take shots on goal. It was the worst. It wasn't just that they lost, because Belgium's a better side. I don't care what the betting odds said. The Homer betting odds, I think, had the U.S. as a slight favorite. Belgium's a better squad. It would have been a nice win, but they picked the worst time to have their worst game of the World Cup.
And let's not sugarcoat it. Pulisic, he was terrible yesterday. He was a no-show this entire World Cup.
He didn't.
Like I understand he got hurt in the first game, so they kept him out of the second half, and then he missed the second game. He was a no-show the entire World Cup.
I know you guys are making fun of me, Greg specifically, when I say they don't have an Mbappe, okay? That seems fairly obvious. But when you're watching Haaland, where you're watching Harry Kane, where you're watching Messi, that's the United States' star. That's the name on the jerseys. That's the guy that people know because they've been telling us since he's 19 years old that he is the hope of American soccer, and it went and died on the field last night in a way that got bullied. Now, he's injured, okay? He is not 100% healthy. He's not. But the idea that the United States didn't have anything in the way of a threat for, you can say now that Belgium's better, but not as a betting, no. No, the money was on the United States last night. And before that game, it was not clear to the money that Belgium is the better side. We watched the game, and now it's clear to everybody that Belgium, coming off a game where they were almost eliminated, they were down 2-0 against Senegal in the 82nd minute in their last game, and they won the game 3-2. They should have been tired. That's an old team. They should have been beaten up. The United States is more athletic. And what? The end result is that the United States fan is now bothered because they did inflate hope in a way that made the expectations, I think, unreasonable. I don't think when Fox is begging the United States to not turn off its television after that game and to please keep watching the game, I don't believe they did anything last night to earn fans. They did stuff before that to earn fans. Last night was going to be the most watched, I imagine when the numbers come in, the most watched United States men's soccer game there has ever been. And they did nothing last night to earn a fan.
Have we not been having this exact same conversation for years now? Is this the World Cup that takes soccer to the next level here in the United States? We have that conversation every 4 years.
Every 4 years.
And this year, like, it was no different from any other year.
I think we've reached the top of our current level. To your point, we have not reached the next level yet, but I will admit, in this World Cup, just the feel-good, the good performances early on, they're at the top of their current level, but to your point, have not reached the next one yet.
For me, the difference is that in this World Cup, there was a little bit of a reason to actually be hopeful. They played 4 games before last night. They won 3 of the 4. The offense was not an issue leading into last night's game. They were scoring fine in this World Cup. But last night was different. You can say Belgium's not any good. They're a 10th ranked team. They're a top 10
I didn't say
team.
they weren't any good.
They have pedigree. And old means experience. They're a pedigreed franchise, so to speak, a pedigreed country in World Cup lore, although they've never reached the final. Quality team. I can't. The only reason the U.S. was favored last night was because of Homer. U.S.
No.
votes.
They were favored last night because of how they looked in the first 4
Right.
games.
That's fair. That's fair.
Chris, when you say they're not at the next level, how many levels are there? What level do you have them on?
There's 5 levels total.
And so which one are they climbing? Like, how many are ahead of them? Because in terms of having a star, they're not on any kind of level. They do not have a star soccer player. America does not have a star soccer player.
Why are there 5 levels now?
I don't know. It feels right.
So where are they, though, when you say they
If
have...
there's 5, I would say they're at the top of the second level.
No.
Like they were thinking they could get into that third.
No.
Second from the bottom or second from
They're
the top?
the 16th ranked team out of hundreds of teams. How are they not?
So you think they're right below the elite countries?
Well, no. I see. Like,
Yes, you said
to
the
me,
top. Yes.
To me, the elite teams are in the 5, The next best are in the 4. Like, what are you guys talking
So
about?
how many
here?
elite
you're
teams
going
are you
to the
making? How many elite teams are
one
you
is
putting
not
in the
the
5?
best.
Oh, my bad. I was going up to 5.
Okay,
What
I
was
got
doing
it.
there?
So you
I'm
got him
with
in
you.
2 or 4?
Wouldn't one be the best?
You know,
Five
well,
is the
he's got
worst?
them at 2 and 4, but I
Is this
want
like a totem pole?
depending on which way you're going here.
I like to be on the 5th level.
Well, but I think they're right in the middle, though. I think they're at the top of the 3rd
So
level.
that 3.
Top
Ooh,
3.
see.
Better than me.
Yeah,
Either way
yeah.
you slice
Top
it, they're
three.
in the middle.
Right.
real-
There's only 5 teams.
Per
in
Shams
number
Charania,
one. Yeah.
Oh, boy.
the Cleveland Cavaliers
Greg?
Cody, you got to go.
have signed Donovan Mitchell to a 4-year, $273 million max contract extension.
Thank you.
Something I was thinking about as it regards the Cavaliers. Do you guys think that for sure James Harden is going back there? Is it possible that LeBron goes there to replace James Harden?
Yes.
Because why the hell does he want to be there with James Harden?
Yes.
Like, James Harden, though, opted out thinking he's going to go back there. No? Like,
Well, it's the same thing that happened with him in Philadelphia, which led to him saying Daryl Morey's a liar and I will never play for an organization that employs Daryl Morey. Like, it seems like he's kind of caught in the same thing right now with Cleveland.
but does everyone think that if LeBron wants to go there, the money for James Harden is gone? Isn't that what's going to happen? Is James Harden going to be hurt and bothered? Is it being reported that James Harden might not be with the Cavs? Because every way I've seen it framed is that if LeBron goes to Cleveland, it's with that as the core, but it's a redundant skill set. They wouldn't need James Harden if they had LeBron.
Yeah, I think it's about if they – you're right. And I think if they sign LeBron, you then use Harden in a sign and trade to get a couple of other pieces to round out your roster.
I feel like Harden is done. I just don't with his defensive liability and his age. I mean, done in the sense of commanding a big contract and being anything close to a centerpiece.
He's going to get a lot of money. What do you mean? He's not.
Yeah.
He's going to get a big contract.
Yeah, how much?
Well, what are you doing? You said done and then not done in some
No,
sort
he's-
of definition for done that only you have. What does done mean?
Okay, he's done at a large contract. He's not done if the price
What's
is
a large
right.
contract?
Over $30 million a year.
He's going to get a lot of money. James Harden is going to get
30
I mean,
plus.
he's going to get a lot of money. James Harden is going to
We'll see.
be able. We'll see.
We'll see.
Say that
I
with
mean,
anything.
you said last week Philadelphia was not a real team in play for LeBron.
I don't think it
disagreed.
is. I don't think it
Okay.
is.
Okay.
What do you disagree based on what?
Based on everything I've read and heard. I mean, why wouldn't LeBron? LeBron listed like 12 teams he was considering, including Philadelphia. They make a pretty good case. When Embiid's healthy, they make a pretty good case.
I think most people listening to this are expecting LeBron to go to either Cleveland, Miami, or the Warriors
Yeah.
in that order, probably.
I want you to look at me when I say this, all right,
Yeah.
Greg? There is a 0% chance LeBron goes to Philadelphia.
Okay. I agree with that top 3. Cleveland, Miami, Golden State. Yeah. Solid top 3. And I wouldn't blame, he's on a retirement tour now. What's wrong with going back to your hometown? Like, that's perfect for him. Miami would be, I could make a case for any of the 3 teams in descending order, but Cleveland makes sense. He doesn't go to Cleveland and people are going, why the hell did he go to Cleveland? Because he's a almost 42-year-old guy looking to retire in his hometown. It's a sweet story.
I think you would get some of that, not from a storybook perspective, but from a winning basketball perspective. If he did go to Cleveland, I do think you would get some of that. Why is he going there if he's trying to win? I do think you get a little bit of it.
Is he going to get a 1-year deal, a 2-year deal? Like, how is he going to sign up for this next season? If he signs a 1-year deal, then he's announcing his retirement, isn't he? If it's just a 1-year deal, you wouldn't expect him to be there for a year and then move again, right?
My guess would be he does what he did every other one of those 4 years he was last with Cleveland, was he signed a 1+1 every time.
With him having the option?
Yeah.
So that it's not officially sort of a retirement tour. I can't believe we're talking about this person at this age this way. Go look in the history of basketball. We were talking about Hoyt Wilhelm setting the career strikeout record for relievers at the age of 5 days short of his 50th birthday. Find for me just the best previous 40-year-old of any kind. The best, and it might be Diana Taurasi. Like
Tom Brady?
I don't think, no, I'm talking about basketball. I'm talking about in basketball where you have to run around. Go ahead and ask Tom Brady to run around and see how that works for him at the age
he was
of
running
45.
around at 40. He was running around.
He wasn't running around. He can barely run around. No, that's not. It's. I don't know if you've seen Larry David's new show, but there's a scene where he's reenacting a war thing and he's trying to run and he shouldn't. Larry David should not try to run because it looks ridiculous. When an old person runs, that's what Tom Brady was running around like in the pocket by the end when he was releasing the ball in 0.3 nanoseconds every time.
I mean, just for some perspective, a lot of people feel Kareem. Ask Pat Riley, who he thinks is the greatest player of all time. Pat Riley tells you Kareem Abdul-Jabbar.
Right.
And, of course, LeBron, a couple years ago, passed Kareem for the all-time scoring record. Kareem's second to last year was when he was 40, okay? He retired after 41. I mean, just a shell of himself.
Of course.
A shell. And, by the way, in that year 40, played 80 games.
What do you average, 10 points a game?
When he was 40, he averaged 14.5. In his final year at 41, he averaged 10 points and 4.5 rebounds. Appeared in 74 games.
Did Steve Nash play at 40? I feel like he did.
He did not.
Okay.
No one's played well at 40. Like this is LeBron is the only human being who has ever played basketball well beyond the age of 40. Can you guys tell me what's going on with Giannis and the Heat and uniform numbers? So they are now. We played that sound last week of Tim Hardaway Sr. saying, "My son will not wear that jersey. That jersey is retired." Now that jersey is not retired. He is going to wear that jersey, and I think I'll allow it because it's the same name on the back of the jersey.
Get at. First of all, the Heat. I love the Heat. They're the team of my childhood. I'm always going to love them. They need to get their act together when it comes to these jerseys. I mean, what the hell are we doing here? They put in the store for sale 34 Heat jerseys. Antetokounmpo, 34. You could take it off the rack, you bring it to the register, you give them your hard-earned money, you get home. Hey, we need a do-over. He's number 7. How does that happen? And then Tim Hardaway gets in front of everybody and says, "No way is my son allowed to have my number. No one can have my number. That jersey is retired. That number's retired." And then several days later, hey, guess what? Tim Hardaway Jr., he's number 10. What are we doing here?
A couple of things. First of all, I would allow it if I were Tim Sr., but I would tell my son, get the junior off of there. It's going to say Hardaway on the back of your jersey, and that's the number we're wearing. That's my number. That's the family name. Get the junior off of the jersey. It's just going to say Hardaway because either it's retired or it just says Hardaway. Don't want the junior on there. As it relates to Antetokounmpo, though, are you guys purists about this stuff? Because I would think that the number 34 Heat jersey is the one I'd prefer to have now because it's the rarer thing and it's not actually real and it's a funny joke. I'd prefer for value purposes to get the rarer of the jerseys. It's that one printed mistake that they made as a franchise. I would rather have the 34 than the 7 because it's funny.
Do you want me to run across the street and see if they have the 34 and get one? Okay.
Yes. Go over there.
They had to have taken
Is the
them
store
down.
open right now?
They had it as of last night. Like, I walked in there for a concert last night, and there was still 34 everywhere.
Go over there and get it. A Heat jersey that will never be worn for a single played minute is the jersey that I want if I'm somebody who would wear jerseys, and I'm not because I'm not showing off my arms.
10
that way.
a.m. 10 a.m., by the way, it opens. 10 a.m.
Okay, we'll have him waiting outside the door just as soon as they open to see if he can get a 34 Antetokounmpo jersey.
Third option, you take a permanent marker with the 34th or a little addition sign right there. Boom.
3 + 4 = 7.
Got you.
I'm not with you, by the way. Wearing the 34 jersey, that's dopey to me.
No, that's fun. No, it's intentional collector's item. The whole thing is intentional.
But where are you guys as purists, right? The people who got 34s are now going to ask for refunds and be hurt and offended and bothered and feel ripped off.
They said they would exchange it, but I'm with you, Dan. If I had one of the 34s, I'm keeping it.
Me too.
You would wear, you have the 34 because you bought it yesterday, and you're going to rock that at Heat games.
That's a good conversation
The
starter.
Antetokounmpo jersey. How's it a conversation starter? Everybody knows how you got it.
Oh, you
no
don't
one's
get it.
Confused.
Zaz, you don't get it. That's what it is. You want the 34. Everybody has the 7.
No.
You're
Yes.
one of the 11 people that have 34.
So you want a jersey that's not real.
It shows I'm such a diehard that I was one of the very first people to show up at the Heat store
you're
in
off.
person at the arena and get that 34. I'm one of the 20 people in the world that showed up day one to support Giannis.
And it's a mistake.
And I can put the little plus signs.
So it's a mistake. So you're wearing a mistake jersey.
Yes,
It's
proudly.
dumb. It's dumb.
It's a collector's item. It's the basketball equivalent of having a Mike Piazza card in a Marlins uniform, even though he played a minute and a half for the Marlins.
But he played.
Okay, but still, it's a collector's item. It's a rarity.
How many games? Did he play 9 games? Did Piazza play 9 games for the Marlins? I'm going to tell you something here that I don't think that Giannis has thought of that he should think about. Aesthetically, optically, because he's so skinny, a single-digit uniform number with that long a name is going to look ridiculous. It's not going to look right. It's the longest name in Heat history to ever be on the back of a jersey. You're going to have to make a parabola that goes from his left hip to his right hip to get his whole name on there. It doesn't look right to have a single digit there. It looks imbalanced. It looks like it's off kilter, but more so because of how skinny he is.
I like it because the 7 sits right in the middle, right? If you have the 34, then you got to push it down so that the Antetokounmpo sits on the top of it like a rainbow.
It's gorgeous looking. I love how you have Giannis worried about the aesthetics of what the back of his shirt looks like.
You think athletes don't care how they look?
No, not when you have a name like that. You're used to your name being that long, and it's that long whether or not it's 1 digit or 2 underneath it.
You think athletes don't care how they look in the uniform?
Yeah, of course they do, but they're not, like, he's not picking the Heat because he loves their uniform. And he's not picking the Heat because he doesn't enjoy the colors.
Okay,
Did you know that?
That's where you. Okay, thank you, Greg. That's good analysis.
Well,
that's excellent analysis.
You said he's worried about what he looks like in a uniform.
Okay, I did, but I didn't say that he would choose his team based on how the uniform looked. I did not imply that. That's not what I said. It's not what I implied. It's not what I thought. It's not what I articulated.
Implicated.
It's not what I implicated.
Okay. All right. Try to live that one down.
Why did he change his number to 7? What is the explanation in going from 34 to 7?
Why did the Heat not know?
He wanted to look skinny.
Slimming?
Yeah. I'd do it. Too thin. I'd have 3 numbers on the back if I could. I'd be 104. Why don't they have 3 numbers instead of 1? Why is it always just 2 digit? Right?
What would be your uniform number?
1440.
So it'd be 4 digits.
Yeah.
Your uniform number would be 4 digits.
That's right.
One of the most amazing things, incidentally, to ever happen on this show is me breaking into Greg Cody's phone by guessing what his password is because it was his childhood address, and I just knew that he has an allegiance to his childhood address because I remember the story sitting across from embittered Minneapolis Star-Tribune columnist Tom Powers as Greg Cody spent 3 minutes explaining to him, yes, I'm writing a book. It's called 1440. It's my initial address. And Tom looks up from his bacon and just says, that sounds duller than dog shit.
Well, to flesh out that story, the title of the book was 1440, subhead, The Legend of an American Home.
Go ahead. Keep going. Tell people what it was. You were going to talk to everyone who had lived there, right?
Yeah.
You were going to talk to anyone who had ever lived there. You were going to go through the past and interview them. And Tom Powers looked up from his bacon and said, that sounds duller than dog shit.
I hesitate to even flesh it out because it's not a patented idea. Somebody's liable to run with it. But this is a home.
You think authors are going to be gathering on your lawn right now to find out?
What was that, 1441?
They're going to go through all of the records in Miami's data history to see who's lived
Hollywood.
at 1440 in the history of 1440.
It was a home in West Hollywood. The name of the city was West Hollywood until it became just Hollywood. And my dad bought the home in 1961, I believe, for $11,990. Now, since that time, there have probably been, I'm just taking a wild guess, 40 different families that have lived in that home.
That's Tom Powers up on the screen right now.
And
that is exactly the look on his face as he looked up from his bacon and he just gave Greg a withering stare. Greg was so excited to just sort of tell for some reason Tom Powers, who, by the way, is the single worst audience for this in the history of sports writing. Like all this guy wrote, was embittered columns. I think it's the late Tom Powers. Look that up. It might cost me $50. I believe it's the late Tom Powers. I don't think I'm killing him accidentally. I don't think he's with us anymore. Otherwise, I'd ask the guest bookers to go find him right now to see if he remembers that story. But he looked up from his plate, and it was such a terrible thing, Zaz, to say to somebody who was delivering an idea that was both personal and excited. He just took a hatchet to it in a way that I don't think I've ever seen Greg Cody talk to that way. And he deflated as much as he did in that chair last night when the American keeper behaved the way that Greg Cody did when playing intramurals on his 1979 soccer team.
Club level football. We had uniforms. We took road trips.
The next step up from intramurals.
Yeah, thank you, Tony.
Is it the next step up? I feel like
you play intramurals, then club, then the real team.
So when Chris Cody is doing his next levels is 5 intramurals, 4 is club level, 3 is where the United States is, and then 2 other elite levels above that, right? Okay, those are the levels of soccer as based on the expertise of our show. Mike Ryan has fled the premises to go to Atlanta to watch Argentina and Egypt this afternoon. That game's going to start at like 11, right?
Yeah, it's an early game, noon.
He is going there to see Egypt, though. He is not interested in seeing Messi.
He was disappointed that Messi advanced. He was disappointed that Messi advanced. He wanted Cape Verde to advance.
He should be disappointed. He could see Messi whenever he wants. Plays right here.
Only, you know who wanted Cape Verde to beat Argentina? Everybody who lives in Argentina and Mike Ryan. That's the only people on earth.
I was conflicted watching that. Like it had an NCAA tournament feel to it, where it's like, do I want to root for the Cinderella or do I want to keep watching Messi play in the tournament?
What are your guys' thoughts on what RG3 did here last night, where he tweeted, and RG3 likes to be polarizing, likes to be the center of lightning rod situations. If you are a U.S. citizen and you aren't rooting for the USA against Belgium, you are a traitor. No other way to put it. You can't be trusted if you are rooting against your own country in the World Cup.
I despise being on the same side as Robert Griffin III. But I agree. I agree here.
So if you're from Spain, or if, for example, my mother is rooting for Spain. She's rooting for Spain because her late father, who she lost in her early childhood, loved soccer more than anything else. And some of her favorite memories are the way that her late father feels about the Spanish football team. She's a traitor?
No, I don't think that's not how I read that. I read that as people who were rooting for Belgium last night because Balogun was allowed to play. So because I saw a lot of that yesterday. I'm rooting for Belgium. This isn't right. The United States doesn't deserve this. I hope Belgium wins and gives those cheaters what they deserve. That's how I read that.
He has no. It doesn't say any other team. It says if you're rooting against the U.S. team against Belgium.
Yeah, that's how I read it.
Like that. This game, if you're rooting against the United States, you're a traitor. Play on.
Like they changed their allegiance, Greg, based on what happened with Balogun. You were rooting for U.S., but now you want to root for what's right.
Right, I heard that. The whole it blew up in Trump's face, which is the only good thing to happen last night. Everything about forcing Balogun to play, it was a stain on the whole World Cup. It was a stain on soccer. It has everyone laughing now. The U.S. becomes the bully that failed because of the Balogun thing. It's a whole subtext of that loss last night that just makes the whole thing catastrophic and ridiculous. But what RG3 said is ridiculous, and anybody who agrees with him, sorry Zaz, is also ridiculous. I demote him to RG1 because of his comments.
Hold on, Greg, you notorious homer for the United States was rooting for Belgium?
No, I was rooting for the United States because you know why? I live in America, and I get to decide, okay? I happen to have one of my housekeepers is a Honduran woman, okay? She's a citizen of the United States, but from Honduras. She barely speaks English. If Honduras had made the World Cup, I'm going to criticize her for cheering for the World Cup.
No, you just fire her.
Okay.
All right, so everything Trump touches turns to feces. The Knicks, the only time they lost is in 7 months was when he went to the game and fell asleep, and now he gets involved with the United States soccer, and they immediately embarrass themselves. And you just called it both catastrophic and ridiculous, which last night was neither of those things. They lost as a small favorite. Like, it was neither catastrophic nor ridiculous.
I disagree. Catastrophic may be an exaggeration. It was ridiculous because it was subject to ridicule. The way they lost in the context of strong-arming Balogun into the game and then having him do nothing.
I'll allow it, actually.
Okay, thank you.
The root form of ridiculous is subject to ridicule, and you're right.
Thank you.
The United States is being ridiculed, and RG3, who has been demoted to RG1, he thinks you're a traitor if you were rooting for Belgium last night.
I have to go back to Chris Cody here because I'm not sure that I knew this. I have to go back. So you're married to an identical twin.
That's right.
Okay, I have questions.
Go on.
First,
Not too many questions.
well, I know your father's sitting right next to me. It's a little weird. Okay, so first question.
No wonder they're into swinging at that house.
Were you always able to tell them apart?
Not at the beginning when we were just dating. Her sister has like a beauty mark on her face, so I was like, mine's the one without that.
Okay. My next question is, a lot of times, your wife or your girlfriend will be like, you think my sister's attractive, don't you? You clearly think her sister's attractive.
That's right. Undeniable.
If you think your wife's hot, you think her sister is hot.
My sister-in-law's hot.
That's
There, I said
crazy.
it.
Right?
I've never said that to her before.
No, you got to say that, though.
Well, you must think she's hot.
But Zaz, here's the deal. Everyone with a hot sister-in-law thinks their sister-in-law is hot. He's the only one who's allowed to say it out loud. That's the difference.
That's true. That's true.
Not like the rest of us are like, oh, my sister-in-law is terrible. Like, if you got a hot one, you're like, oh, my God, she's hot, but you just can't say it out loud.
Yeah. And are they actually different?
They're very similar in a lot of ways.
So how'd you choose?
The other one was taken.
Papa Cody, wait a second now. You experience this. I mean, do you find one more charming than the other?
At the very beginning, I, too, had difficulty telling them apart.
But do you like, now that you've gotten to know, presumably both of them pretty well, do you think that your boy made the right choice between the two?
I have to say that. I mean, of course he did.
Oh, my goodness.
Of course he did.
Now,
I love my daughter-in-law, but they're eerily alike.
Not
not just physical.
What I'm about to admit now is a little embarrassing.
Go on.
There are times, in marriage, you're going through,
We know.
you're
We know,
like,
we know.
it's just, this is
I don't like where this is headed.
I don't
I
either.
do.
where sometimes you just like, if you're trying to keep things fresh, you just imagine it's the other person.
Oh, no.
That's an
Whoa!
unbelievable admission.
That
What's
is-
the matter with you, man?
I didn't hear
Suey. Hey, guys in the room outside, mark that down.
For
Suey
the record,
revelation.
did everybody see as one of society's great empaths? Did you see me try to get in the way? Did you see me try to dive in front of that? He refused. He went. He plowed straight ahead.
He did.
You guys never struggle, huh?
Your wife clearly does not listen to this show.
What in
You got
hell?
no worries
What
that
did you
this
just
is getting
say?
back to her.
Tony, how you feel about that admission?
Not great. Yeah, not great. Even though, admittedly, Chris says that his wife doesn't watch the show, which is good, right?
Very
so he
good.
feels like he can shoot from the hip here and not really be taken to task, like Dave said. Very good. But the issue is, sometimes some things are so flammable and so big that they peer through the veil of Chris saying, "Oh no, my wife doesn't watch the show," where she's like, "You said what?"
That was
Bigger than the show, man.
Bigger than the show.
Let's not clip this if we can.
That was an incredible admission.
It really
Greg,
was.
what did you make of all that?
A little bit unfortunate. I wish he hadn't said that. It could come back to haunt.
You guys never struggle.
Well, in the context of this show, you can always say, I was just kidding. Of course I was just kidding. But will she believe you?
I was.
Okay. This episode of the Dan Le Batard Show is presented by DraftKings Sports. DraftKings, the crown is yours.
You want to try that again with the proper cadence and the proper places?
I thought it was pretty perfect, but I will if you want.
Yeah, go ahead.
This episode of the Dan Le Batard Show is presented by DraftKings Sports. DraftKings, the crown is yours.
Doesn't make it right.
Put it on the poll, please, at Le Batard Show. If you have made RG3 RG1, have you promoted him or demoted him? Because I do think we have a totem pole situation here where the totem pole we learned around here, if you're at the top of the totem pole, that's not where you want to be. You want to be at the bottom of the totem pole. That is the stronger position. I think we learned that. I'm still always confused by it because I thought the bottom of the totem pole is the worst place to be, and I still sort of think that. Don't you guys think that?
Yeah.
But it isn't, right? The bottom.
No, it is.
It is,
No,
yeah.
but I think I have this wrong in terms of how the totem pole works. I've now confused myself.
Well, it's the foundation. It's holding everything up, the bottom.
That's correct. But does that mean that you want to be at the bottom of the totem pole or at the top of the totem pole?
I don't want to do the work, you know. I
Right.
want to be I want you to hold me. I want to be on your shoulders.
Right. It's like the ladder. You don't want the bottom rung. You want the top rung.
RG3 making him RG1 is you said you were demoting him. I think that might be a promotion, though. If you're making him the original RG, if you make him RG5, that's a demotion. You're one of the last children. You're an afterthought.
Yeah. Well, 3, you know what? 1 and 2 are embarrassed by his take, and 4 is potentially embarrassed if there is a 4.
He tweeted after the game, "We lost because we weren't a united front as fans. We are supposed to be the United States of America, not the divided states of America."
That's so stupid.
Is it?
It's dumb. It's our fault.
Beyond stupid.
That's not why we lost?
No, Trump's wrong. We lost.
That's better.
I would say Tim Reen.
The people are mad. You cannot give the United States sports fan hope, the promise of some belief, and then take it away in that fashion where we're watching a game last night and you realize fairly early on, oh, there's no chance here to do anything. Then nothing good is going to happen this evening.
Within the first 20 seconds, the striker for Belgium had an absolute rocket that Freeze got a fingertip on. We were like, oh, this is going to be a very long game.
We were all saying to each other, like 2 minutes into that game, they're going to get one here. Like, it was just a thing. Every living room around America was just like, yeah.
Spot him one. We got to get back.
They're going to get, we might score and it might turn into a good game, but they're getting one here. It just feels like it.
What have you guys found on Tom Powers? Do I owe $50 for killing a Tom Powers who is still alive? I don't believe he is still alive, but what does the internet show?
We have no proof that the Tom Powers you search of has passed away. We did find a Tom Powers in Minnesota who had passed away, but not of the same job that you two were speaking of.
I killed a different Tom Powers.
The latest on
R.I.P.
Tom
to that Tom
Powers.
Powers.
Yeah, R.I.P. to that one.
Yeah, rest in power.
Rest in Powers.
That guy.
I do have an article here from 2018.
How odd for that man's family to hear us talking about him, right?
Well, I think he's gone. I think they know he's
we
gone.
don't know.
They do, though. I think they know one way or the other. We might not know, but I think they know. And so I either owe $50 or don't owe $50. But what information did you find on the World Wide Web about Tom Powers, who, if you're just joining us, the Minneapolis Star-Tribune columnist, famously embittered, who listened to Greg Cody's personal idea of writing a book about his childhood home and the history of 1440, looked up from his bacon and said, that sounds duller than dog shit.
He couldn't have been more wrong.
And that Tom Powers was last in the news in March of 2018, with the lead of this article saying, a well-known sports columnist went on a Twitter tirade that included telling people to go screw themselves, a comparison of Hillary Clinton to serial killers, and the use of the phrase liberal P ------s.
What word do you think he meant?
My kind of guy.
Pyramids. So Seth Wickersham writes the following, and I believe his information, he's an exceptional reporter. He does a lot of good things on the Patriots, a lot of good things on football. This detail is an interesting detail. When Bill Belichick and the Patriots divorced in 2024, Sean Payton considered presenting Broncos owner Greg Penner a proposal for the ages. Hire Bill Belichick as head coach until he reaches 15 wins, enough to break Don Shula's career record of 347. Peyton would temporarily step down to assistant coach and run the offense, then move back after Belichick became the all-time leader. What does that look, Zaz? We are largely an audio medium, and while that look on your
Everyone can
face
feel my look.
Speaks volumes.
Can feel my look.
Well, it's not speaking anything. It's
I agree
just
with that
total
look.
silence. It's not. There are not volumes being spoken. There's nothing being spoken. He's just. You don't like the idea. You think it's ridiculous.
It's an insult to Don Shula.
Yes.
I would personally do whatever it takes to make sure that doesn't happen.
Didn't happen, though.
I'm not sure exactly what I would do, but I would make sure.
It insults the integrity of everything.
I believe that Stugotz once famously claimed around here that he would do anything in his power if Dwayne Wade ever left the Miami Heat and played for another team to prevent a statue from being erected. That statue can be seen from our windows now of Michael Chiklis. So I guess in some ways he did prevent it, right? That's not a statue of Dwayne Wade. It's meant to honor Dwayne Wade, but it's clearly not Dwayne Wade. And if I'm really having to consider it, I do think Stugotz's fingerprints are all over what happened across the street.
He got to the sculptor. That's what it was. Paid off the sculptor. Said, hey, here's a picture of Michael Chiklis. Put this in.
Tony, are you headed across the street here to find out whether or not you can still buy a number 34 Antetokounmpo jersey that's going to be a collector's item? And I dare say, do I have this right? I must have this right. If you buy any of these things as memorabilia investment, the 34 is going to be worth more than the 7, correct?
I completely disagree. I think it's worth nothing. It's the wrong jersey. He will never worn that jersey number with the Miami Heat.
That's why, though, it would be a collector's item. 50 years from now, somebody's going to hold up that jersey and they're going to be like, how did this get made? This is the official NBA logo. They are very careful about how it is that the copyrights on all that stuff work, so you can't make knockoffs.
Somebody's going to have to explain, well, Giannis was on a stream with Neon, and then he told Neon he actually wanted number 7, not number 34, in which the Heat had to change all their jerseys from number 7 to number 34.
You're allowed to custom make your jersey, all right, on the NBAstore.com or even at the arena, okay? And so if I went on to NBAstore.com and I made an Antetokounmpo jersey and I put in number 4, that's a collector's item now?
No, because he never wore that jersey or intended to.
That's right, Chris, because he never wore that jersey.
34 was his number
That's
with
right.
the Bucks.
I'm sorry. Is the jersey that Tony's going to go pick up, does it say Bucks or Heat on it?
You sound like a fool right now. Your son does memorabilia, too. This is a bad look for you. Your son would be embarrassed right now by you.
There's a story behind Heat, Antetokounmpo, and 34. There's not with the number 4. That's why it's a collector's item.
There's no story.
Yes, there is.
They printed out a jersey that is wrong.
Right.
How is that worth anything?
Okay, so it's tantamount to a mistake, right? That also creates a collector's item. If you have a Hank Aaron baseball card and they misspell Hank Aaron, that's a collector's item.
So you think that one day someone shows up to an auction with a Miami Heat Antetokounmpo 34 jersey, people are going to bid actual dollars on that?
Yes.
No chance.
If the Heat had made a bunch of James 23 jerseys when LeBron first came here, before he decided to change to number 6, you don't think that those would now be collector's items?
No.
Why? Of
Because
course they
he
would
never
be.
Wore, it's just it's a jersey that never existed. It's a wrong number on the jersey.
Let's hear Antetokounmpo on with the aforementioned Neon here talking about this jersey switch.
Would you ever change your number?
I think yeah.
Seriously? To what?
I haven't decided yet, but I don't think it's going to be the same number.
This year you're changing your number?
Yeah.
Oh, that's hard. You know, look, imagine you're number 7.
That's not a bad number. I'm going to take that.
You're going to use number 7?
You want me to?
Yes.
Oh.
There it is. That's the formality of the arrangement. He took Ray Allen's number 34 in Milwaukee. Maybe he didn't want to do that again in Miami. Do we have an explanation for why it is that he is changing the number? Greg, can you explain something to me? I'm sorry. I got distracted. you're promoting something with such small type that I don't believe anybody can read what's on the screen that you're trying to promote.
Ridiculous.
It's so small that is not so. You need to make bigger type for CodyCup.thegregcodyshow.com. Visit often. Greg versus Chris versus Yeti scorecard updates with every World Cup result, and then an unneeded exclamation point to give off some sort of enthusiasm that no one actually has for what it is. For what it is that's being done there. How's all that going there? Despite
Don't say the amount of views. He does this thing where he's like, it's gotten X amount of views, and it's not as impressive as he thinks.
He hates it when I give a number. How about this? I'll just say that we've had visitors from all 50 states and 21 countries. It's been very successful. I mean, it was Yeti's idea. Credit to him. It's a website I'm very
I think
proud
Yeti
of.
would like larger type to promote that website, though, than the type that you're using that requires viewers of television to both question their eyesight and get up closer to the television. Like, you have to really get up close to the television to see how small that type is. It's smaller than Jeremy writes on his whiteboard.
Yeah.
I don't know why we're afflicted as a media company with people who use fonts that are way too small.
I mean, I'm a trendsetter.
There's a story. There's a story behind that. CodyCup.thegregcodyshow.com. When I tried to make that the next size up, it broke into 2 lines. So that's the biggest font I could have that made it 1 line. So there was a method to my madness.
It's because your name is too long. Like, not your
Cody?
name, Greg Cody. No, the website's name is way too long.
Okay.
I can't read it from here.
Gary
but it's
Long.
Cody Cup.
Right.
Gary Long, former Miami Herald writer Gary Long.
Great one, too. Now lives in Vegas. Hit that bet, boy.
The Dan Le Batard Show, your exclusive home for Gary Long updates, now lives in Vegas, the former Herald sports writer Gary Long. Please stay on top of whether or not Tom Powers is alive or not. I want to know before the end of the show here whether or not I owe $50. I was saying yesterday, I get fined $50 for killing anyone who's not dead. It's the largest fine allowable around here. I was saying yesterday that in the history of the Boston Celtics, they have never been laughed at the way that they were laughed at for everything involving Jason Tatum. And Brad Stevens yesterday did come out and say what I was telling you, Zaz, that they have a problem with 70% of their payroll being locked up into players. When they won the championship, that was 46% of their payroll, and so they could fill out the roster with needed players like Drew Holiday and Kristaps Porzingis and an assortment of others who made it a championship roster. But something that's happening now in the sport that's interesting, and when you have a bunch of competitive people and they're all looking for winning in the margins, and the salary cap makes it so you're otherwise pretty equal. It's very hard. In baseball, the Rays and Marlins are doing stuff organizationally with base stealing, with plate discipline. They're doing an assortment of things that aren't just home runs and aren't just the strategy of how do we line up our players on the field based on tendencies. It's how do we give value to something that is undervalued throughout the sport? There are 2 things happening right now in basketball as a reaction to not just OKC and the Spurs and their youth, but as a reaction as to the fact that the sport is physically breaking its players. So all of a sudden you have money going to centers out of nowhere. The center is now being valued in a way that made it feel like the center was going to go extinct. And more relevantly, teams are choosing depth. You got to go 10 deep because your guys are going to get hurt.
Yes.
Like, if you're guaranteed for your guys to get hurt because everybody's guys are hurt, and you lost billions of dollars in salary last year, lost games that weren't played by people who were collecting their salary anyway. And so now the shift becomes we need to go 10 deep. We cannot have 70% of our roster. And this is a danger that the Heat presently have. The way that they're structured, you can say a couple of things about this. This one's interesting to me if you want to analyze what's been happening at the top of the Eastern Conference before last year. I'm going to say the previous 5 years before that. Boston and Miami were at the top of the conference. In the bubble, you had Tatum being blocked at the rim by Adebayo. And at that moment, that was the difference between those two teams. And since then, the Boston Celtics have done a better architecture job than the Miami Heat, as the Miami Heat have fallen further and further behind. So the last act of the Miami Heat was an act of understandable desperation. But it's desperation, and it's still playing behind the way the game is changing. Everyone's laughing at the Celtics right now, but they're getting out ahead of the fact, hey, our rosters have to be 10 deep, and that money needs to be spread out. It cannot be locked up in just a couple of guys while the Heat are going the other way. They're like, nope, we're going to lock it up in a couple of guys, and we're going to be okay with the fact that one of them is 31 years old, and if not brittle, he's being questioned about his health after last year. People are thinking that Giannis, his best days are behind him, that his prime is in the rearview mirror, and that they've just done something that's not merely desperate, but also behind the way the game's about to be played in terms of structure.
I agree with you, except for this. I do think that he's sort of trying to play both sides and looking at depth with recent signings like Bobby Portis and Tim Hardaway Jr., who are both classic sixth-man type players.
I think when you say, and, you know, Brad Stevens explained how two players, 70% of the cap, they want to get out in front of that. I think that makes sense. Matter of fact, I mean, last week I spoke about, you know, when there were Kawhi Leonard rumors here, how it would be a bad idea if the Heat went after Kawhi Leonard. I got tremendous pushback from the room over there, but it's because of this. And I think you're leaving out an unless. You can't have 70% of your cap being taken up between two players unless the player is worth that money, unless the value is there. And Brad Stevens is telling you, it's not telling you can't have two players take up 70%. He's saying we can't have these two players take up 70%. When one of the players is Giannis, hence why the Celtics tried to trade for Giannis. It's okay to have two players take up that much percentage.
So let's listen here to Brad Stevens explain about the sleepless nights and how much this one is ravaging him.
The unbelievable way we've played in the regular season in the last couple years. You know, the path looked a little bit more challenging to me. I might be wrong. I'm not going to stand up here and be defensive about that. But the path looked a little bit more challenging with 70% of our cap. And such a high percent of our usage tied into two players. And the reality in this era and in this day and age of the NBA, and you could see it obviously with the last couple of champions and some of the teams that were at the very top of the league, when it was all said and done at the end of this year, is that, you know, you have to do a great job and you have to have the optionality to do a great job of building out depth that can hopefully replace the irreplaceable individual.
I'm going to say this again because I think it merits underlining. The Boston Celtics, in their storied history, have never been laughed at for a transaction the way they're presently being laughed at for this one. Here's Brad Stevens talking more specifically about Jaylen Brown.
Jaylen said that he felt disrespected by this trade process and he wished more had been explained to him. I know you're talking about trying to be as upfront and communicative with him as possible throughout this, but do you wish at all that either you handled this process differently or there was anything on your side that was not conveyed to him that you wish you had in hindsight?
I think I already answered that earlier with Jay, but I would just say, I'll just repeat that, you know, I'm hopeful that we can sit down and talk about that at some point, but you know, I'm sorry that he feels that way.
One of the reasons they're being laughed at is I think I can construe an argument for the Sixers before that trade, feeling like if they were going to have to get rid of Paul George, they would have had to staple a first-round pick just to get rid of him, that they would have had to give something else. So essentially, all you got was a little bit better than that. Anywhere they would have sent Paul George, they might have had to give somebody a first-round pick in order to take that contract. But let's talk for a second about the word you used, value. In a salary-capped sport, I'm competing against you, and I have no money advantages. The salary cap has altered so much of this, and it's happening faster and faster. The Celtics are now owned by hedge fund people, and hedge funds are like locusts eating cornfields in terms of just grabbing efficiencies and stealing the soul from things. The greatest advantages in football, for example, is having a quarterback at value on the rookie quarterback scale, because then you can fill out your roster with an assortment of things. Jaylen Brown went from not many people objecting to him getting the Supermax, Zaz, to 3 years later, that's a bad contract. It's a bad contract that wouldn't be known as a bad contract by everyone if the Celtics hadn't just made it known. Like, I don't believe people were reporting the idea that seventh highest paid player in the league, Jaylen Brown, was a bad contract until this deal got made. That's not something that people were saying.
Well, I think you also have to point out where Jaylen Brown signed that deal 2 years ago, I believe it was, right? Well, this new CBA only started 3 years ago. So it was only a year into it where this new deal from Jaylen Brown was signed. We have more information now as far as how the CBA and the new salary cap has affected team building. So I think that plays a part.
Yes, it does play a part, but the part that I find more interesting about this is that Brad Stevens was viewed 3 years ago as being ahead of the curve, and now he's being laughed at the way no executive in the history of the Boston Celtics has been laughed at. That happened pretty fast. Like the numbers and however it is they're doing the accounting in the sport changed pretty quickly on a guy that we were saying 3 years ago, oh, look, he's past Pat Riley. He knows how to build teams better than Pat Riley. He just built a champion, and he just gave Jaylen Brown a supermax that he had to give him. There would have been no one in our audience after coming off of a finals MVP who would have said, yeah, you don't give him that money. You let him walk. You risk him being unhappy. Everyone said you have to give him that money at that time. How does that change that quickly? How does the sport move so quickly that Brad Stevens essentially won a championship by reinventing it? It's fairly unprecedented what you're looking at. That town is crazy, right? Theo Epstein won as a 30-year-old, 34-year-old, and Brad Stevens went from, nah, don't want Red Auerbach's job. Don't want to be just the coach. Want to be the guy who's the general manager, and then wins the title, and now is being laughed at. That, to me, is crazy.
Well, I think there's a couple things that we need to add for context as well why he's getting this reaction. Number one is you traded this player for Paul George, who most people believe is not a very good player anymore. So that plays a role in him getting laughed at as, hold on, that's what you got for Jaylen Brown? Paul George, the player who I still believe the Sixers, if they could have gotten rid of him and gotten nothing in return, I'm not talking about nothing like lesser players. I'm talking about legitimately nothing. I think the Philadelphia 76ers would have done it. So that's why Brad Stevens is getting laughed at, but also because what preceded this the week prior, the idea that the Celtics now would rather have Paul George and Hugo Gonzalez and Baylor Shireman rather than Giannis. Like they weren't willing to give up those ancillary players who both started Game 7 and scored 0 points. Are you sure?
Yeah.
I think it's ancillary.
No, it isn't.
All right, I'll do it now just to appease you. But both those two players, Shireman and Gonzalez, scored 0 points in their Game 7 loss. And you'd rather have those two and Paul George than Giannis? You're getting laughed at.
You want to try that word again?
Ancillary. They're ancillary pieces.
No, they're not. They're ancillary.
I might have to look into that. I don't know if you're right about that.
I don't think that you know how to be communicative.
Communicative.
A little stumble there.
I did. I was setting up Roy for the joke there. Instead of communicative, I said
communicative.
It's communicative.
Yeah, Greg, help us out here. Have you ever heard communicative?
Communicative.
I've heard both.
Really?
Yeah. Unlike ancillary, I think that's a word that actually allows.
You're thinking of artillery, Zaz?
Are you sure it's ancillary?
No, I'm not. I'm
It's
sure
not.
it's ancillary.
It's ancillary. You keep doing this wrong. Are you doing artillery? What's happening here? It's not. It is ancillary. It's not ancillary.
Okay, I got a problem now because I've been saying ancillary into a microphone for many years.
Wow.
Okay, but it is not. It's a fact that it is not.
No one's corrected you all these years.
It is surprising that you are using that word that incorrectly.
If no one else has corrected me, I mean, wouldn't that lead me to believe that you're wrong?
Doesn't make it right.
That would be how you would climb the logic ladder to arrive at you being right and the rest of us being wrong, but not everyone else is wrong. I've never heard the word pronounced the way that you're pronouncing it. It's the first time. Have you ever heard it pronounced that way?
Ancillary? That's ridiculous. Laughable.
Greg, do you have your catchphrases ready? Do you have
Yeah,
your
I do,
list
actually.
of top 70 catchphrases of all time?
Yes.
Chris, get for me, please, your father's top 6 episodes of all time.
No, please don't.
And top and bottom 6
Don't do
episodes
that.
of all time. Excuse me. So go
Don't do
ahead.
that.
What do you mean? Don't do that?
I mean, that's why people are flocking to my latest episode, is to hear those top 6 and
50
bottom
states,
6.
all 50 states, and 21 nations.
No, yeah, exactly. Thank you.
Number 70.
Number 70, I'm fuller than Vern Fuller. 69, where's my click, click? 68, hey, Butterfinger. 67, punt. 66, Scranton. 65, I'm busier than a one-arm paper hanger. 64, George up, Georgia. 63, I'm the kind of guy that's 62, balling the jack. 61, hey, hey, with the monkeys, baby. 60, thank you, Billy. 59, I love him like a pet. 58, who made it a salad? 57, we're rolling now, huh? 56, your brain beating me. 55, let's go States. 54, driver comfort is paramount. 53, dummy up, save up. 52, catch as catch can. 51, doesn't make it right. 50, so on and so forth. 49, very good. 48, the Little League theory. 47, nice hat, asshole. 46, the others, they all learn from me. 45, don't go showering to try to please me. 44, look at that jerk. 43, it's like a packing house in here. 42, what'd you learn? 41, hee-haw, 3, ba-dap. 40, I'm not going to take a quiz. 39, sassafras. 38, would we break a window? 37, hello. 36, who won? 35, trailers for sale or rent. 34, you got to eat a peck of dirt before you die. 33, 3 words, we are the Lobos. 32, you're going to go to Buffalo with Bernie Pomely. 31, Rappy Cack. 30, another crisis solved. 29, nice chatting with you. 28, he ain't heavy, he's my blank. 27, hey, that's what I'm talking about. 26, who let a pet? 25, good on ya. 24, dancing swords. 23, QK, quick crap. 22, bay. 21, blanking it. 20, that's a fact, Jack. And 19, gotta want to earn, gotta want to learn.
Now we have the new 2 from this week. We are into the top 20, even though I thought we were almost done with the bottom half of the top 20.
No.
We were at number 11. Now we are at number 18.
Yeah, there's rumors, unconfirmed, that the final countdown may expand from 70 to 75. I have not said that. I do not condone it. It's just a rumor I'm reporting. So next week on the Greg Cody Show, we will reveal numbers 18 and 17.
What do you mean next week? What about this week?
We skipped the catchphrase countdown this week because it was it was a special episode with the listener who listened to our entire back catalog to come up with a top 6 and a bottom 6 all-time episodes.
Otherwise known as we recorded that episode 6 months ago so we could take this week off.
Yeah, it wasn't quite 6 months ago. But
4th of July?
Yeah, that kind of thing. Yeah, yeah, Sagaki.
We just forgot to do the
So
catchphrase.
wait. Are you not only denying us a refreshed number 18 and number 17 that updates the list that used to be at number 12 and number 11,
Right.
but somehow we keep going backwards? You're not only denying us that, you're also not allowing us to talk about that episode that you did that references the rankings of your top 6 and bottom 6 episodes of all time?
No, I love talking about it. Thank you. Let's keep
No,
talking
but you
about
just
it.
said, well, you just... Where's the update?
Okay, the update is not available because it hasn't been out yet. It hasn't been revealed.
Let's put it out.
It's going to be revealed next Monday on my next episode.
Give us one. Give the listener, give this audience one of those at least, and you can give the two on your podcast. But we're expecting something every week here by way of update. That's why we just did what we just did, where you read the other 50,
the other 70. The other 50. You're right.
I mean, you have the top 20. Like you know what the phrases are.
No, I don't. They're a week by week list.
No, that's not what I'm asking. You have the list is done, right?
No, it isn't.
You're still making the list.
You don't know what number 18
Nope.
is? As
Not-
we
not
sit
for
here,
sure.
that's
No,
not true.
I don't.
Greg,
It could be.
I won't read. I
any
won't
of
read it out
25
loud,
things.
but let me see your list. Let me
Fine,
see.
because it stops at 19.
Your brain beating me.
He is brain beating me.
That's not the next one. That's just.
It's true. It's not on here.
Thank you.
No way.
It's not updated.
But it's on like your files on
He
your
knows.
computer.
He
right?
knows what the next one is.
I do not know what the next one is. I have for the final night, the contenders for the final 18 include about 25, 27 possibilities.
So hold on a second. So of the
Including a
final
couple
18
of new entries. Yeah.
of the final 18, you're going to pick the final 18 of a possible 25 or 20 so entries.
Right.
So 7 could be left out of your list altogether, but they are possibly good enough to be in the top 25.
Yeah, that spawns the rumor that the list may grow from 70 to a final 75, which has not been confirmed yet. I have to admit, this list has gone on a bit longer than originally anticipated.
Aren't you the person who could confirm the rumor?
Yeah. Well, it is an eponymous podcast.
I don't know what that word means.
In other words, my name is in it, implying that I'm the boss of the podcast. So, yeah. But I have input.
Your name's in it twice. The Greg Cody Show featuring
with,
Greg Cody.
Yeah, with Greg Cody, right. And I think I'm the only podcast that does that, which makes me very proud. Surprised there haven't been a bunch of imitators.
My wife asked me that the other day when said the Greg Cody Show featuring Greg Cody.
With,
she then said, why is his name in it twice?
Yeah, what'd you say?
Just I don't have time to explain this bullshit.
Good answer, actually.
Chris, where are we with? I don't care about his top 6 episodes all time of the Greg Cody Show featuring Greg Cody. But I would be interested in the worst 6 episodes because I imagine that both you and Yeti take some inventory of your life and are made a little bit sad when you think about those 6 episodes.
Very
sad. All right, so give us, yes?
Can we do this? Can we compromise here? Can Christopher give you the two of the worst 6 of his choosing? In other words, this can be number 6 or number 1. Don't even say the numbers. Just say 2 of the 6.
If you want to negotiate, we can, but it will be in exchange for a catchphrase update.
Well, we don't have the catchphrase.
Well,
Let's just start here. I'll do 2 of them, and then we'll see where we're at and see if you want to reveal more. I feel like you'll be okay with it.
Okay.
The number 6 worst episode, according to Steve, our listener who listened to all 350 plus episodes of our podcast history. He says the 6th worst episode in 2020, episode 20, the ESPN employee who had COVID. This was like at the start of COVID. We found some guy at ESPN. Really nice guy. I don't even want to say his name. I don't want to do that to him. Very nice guy. And we were just like, we found a guy.
It was so misleading. It implied that Stephen A. Smith was on,
Wait a
and
minute.
then it was.
Wait. Explain to me the workshop.
It was just being like, so what happened? And he's like, I got pretty sick.
Who was he again?
We don't have to say his name.
Okay, but wait, why?
It was like a tech guy at ESPN, just a guy I met in Bristol, stayed in contact with, and then we were doing the podcast, and it just I became aware that he had COVID. I was like, I know someone who has COVID. Okay. Let's talk to him.
Okay, so is this as close to investigative journalism? Is this as close to Pablo Torre finds out as your
at
podcast?
The time?
It's the forerunner.
Right.
Was that a headline at the time?
So you have 5 worse than this. It wasn't a headline. No one picked up on it. It was not ground zero of COVID. It was just some guy.
Right. That's exactly right.
It wasn't the first known carrier of COVID.
Right.
It was just somebody at Disney. And by the way, I will never not laugh at the way that the ESPN and Disney protocol sent us back to work with hand sanitizers.
All right, you're good.
Here, we've been preparing for this. We've been preparing for a pandemic. Here's a cheap $9 machine that spews goo. You guys will be fine. What is another of the the historically terrible episodes.
Number 5 in 2024, episode 209, the Ed Newman interview.
God, yeah. God, I had to fight for that one.
He wanted to put that guy on so bad.
Former Dolphin center Ed Newman
Guard,
has been former Dolphins guard Ed Newman. He made it worse somehow. He made it worse because center would have been more relevant, but no, he downgraded it immediately, and he's right.
He's become a lawyer.
Yes, no, he's a judge, I think, isn't he?
Judge.
He used to be. He retired.
Well,
yeah.
A boring quote for all of his years. And
he didn't change.
Yeah, no. And Greg arguing on behalf of let's have Ed Newman on.
That was one of those things where he got the pitch from he was releasing a book or something, and it's like, hey, have Ed Newman on. And I'm like, no. And my dad's like, we got to do it. Dolphin legend.
Yeah, we went through an unfortunate phase where we had on a lot of authors, and I also had to get over the idea that it has to be a sportsy podcast involving local athletes, and thankfully I've gotten over that.
You guys made fun of Jalen Brunson and downgraded him because he had hairy shoulders. In the history of South Florida sports, I associate two men more than any other men with being hairy. Ed Newman and Tim Ruddy.
Great shout on Tim.
Yeah, Ruddy, yeah, that's a good one.
That guy had a fur coat of pubic hair on the front of his body. The pubic hair went all the way up from the pubic area all the way up and was just a fur coat.
Like there was no gap?
It was very hairy.
I remember you could see his hair like when he was in uniform and in pads with a helmet on. Like it would like the little space on his neck in between like his jersey
very
and his
hairy,
helmet.
Yeah.
unusually hairy, and I downgraded his athleticism because he didn't wax, because he didn't take care of any of that. It was too hairy. I need the rest of this list. Give me the rest of this list. Give me
two more.
Give me another. Okay, two more. Give me another two.
Episode 52, the Moss 5 episode with terrible audio. We tried to make an episode out of a Moss Miami, and it was so loud. And it was just like no one could hear it. We got so many complaints. It was just because of our production. That was the worst episode.
Yeah, you guys forgot that in order to produce things as a media entity.
Talk to me, Greg.
Really,
Moss Miami.
It was unlistenable. That was the toenail episode.
For those of you who do not know what the toenail episode was, who would need some context, a line that stretched thousands of people long went to go see Greg Cody's rotten toenail
outta here.
in a glass. I'm not making that up.
Yeah, it was in a glass case.
It was in a glass case, and the line, it's the longest line we've ever had for anything.
And what
around
happens?
here.
People just take a look and then they keep moving?
Yes.
Get a photo for the right price.
Yeah,
No, I'm kidding.
selfie.
There used to be before that a long line for watching the video of Greg Cody drunkenly falling in the bushes while his son exploited him for content. That was the longest previous line before the toenail was taken off. I believe it was cut by Stugatz, was it not?
It was, and he pinched me. He drew blood. Love him anyway.
Give me another of the worst episodes in the history of the Greg Cody Show featuring Greg Cody.
Number 2, episode 53 in 2022, Dave Barry loses patience with Chris for interrupting him.
We have Dave on once a year, and he and Christopher awkwardly. It was great, actually, because it was so awkward. But Christopher was interrupting him so much.
Not best for my timing, that episode.
That Dave Barry actually got angry. Like out of character.
I've never seen Pulitzer Prize winner Dave Barry, a famously affable man, angry. I've never seen that. It would take your son being so unprofessional.
And he was.
I need these other two. I need the rest of this
How about
list.
one more?
One more.
Leave number one. Leave number one unsaid.
Okay. Number 4, 2023, episode 195, the post-Thanksgiving episode where Greg and Chris fought a lot. I seem to be at the problem with a lot of this.
Yeah.
What is the Nick Bobick?
It's a 60s song. The name game. Nick Bobick. Banana Bofick. Me, my Momick. Nick.
Rosanna, Rosanna, Rosanna.
I'm the kind of guy that Nick. Who made it the salad? Hey, Butterfinger. Who made it the salad? Nick Bobick. Who made it the salad? Georgia.
That's not correct.
Very good.
It's a parrot that says very good out of the side of its mouth.
That's correct.
What does this have to do with the name game?
I'm not going to take a quiz.
Rosanna,
Who made it the salad? Me, my Momic. Very good. Let's go, States. We're rolling now, huh?
That's not correct.
Doesn't make it right. Don't go showering to try to please me.
Do you like breathing hot neck on the neck of hot?
Wow.
Are you turned on?
Do you like
Dangling.
breathing hot neck?
What's going on here?
Do you like
Sexy.
breathing hot neck?
You have been dry humped many, many times.
Intimate.
You have been dry humped many, many times.
Little pelvic thrust situation.
I like that.
Have you ever consoled a naked man before?
What does it feel like to get dry humped?
I saw pee-pee.
I've never consoled a naked man.
Breathing hot neck.
I've never consoled a naked man.
Many, many times.
I saw pee-pee.
People out there, stop sending me pictures of the hotel rooms with the chair, okay? Stop sending those to me.
I like that. I like that.
He was naked.
Intimate.
Dangling.
I would hold that thing really tight.
How would you do it?
What's going on here?
Do you like
Sexy.
breathing hot neck? Do you like breathing hot neck?
I've been dry humps.
You never know.
I've been dry humps.
Many, many times.
I've never consoled a naked man.
Have you ever consoled a naked man?
I've never consoled a naked man.
Many, many times.
You never know. I like that.
You know what I'm talking about?
Chris Cody and Roy revealed this to me. And Roy, I don't know the context of what it is that you guys were talking about that revealed this about Chris Cody.
Yeah, Chris asked me what the sound from the first down for the Dolphins games were. And I said
it's just a noise I've made throughout my entire life. It's just like one, like I just did it. Hoo-wah!
Yeah.
And to me, that's another Miami Dolphins first down.
Well, let's find out. Let's find out if your dad knows, because he's not a real moviegoer. Instead of impersonating the sound, do you have the actual sound? Greg Cody, do you know who's making this sound?
Hoo-ah! I do.
Clark Gable.
Come on.
It's the famous actor.
Rock Hudson.
Oh, this is great. He doesn't know it.
No, it's the famous actor. And I got to pin his name down because I don't think
You should be able to say this immediately.
I don't think it's Robert De Niro.
No.
But I think it's
in the neighborhood.
In the neighborhood. Give me a second. Robert De Niro.
Humphrey
Al Pacino.
Hey, there you go.
If someone said that in his headphones, you're fired.
Now,
No,
what movie?
nobody said
What
that.
movie?
It's APAC. What movie?
Streetcar Named Desire.
You ain't you. No, you're not man enough to know the truth. Something like.
Greg Cody has said before that it has not been commented on if he has not commented on it. So even though he's a day late to this discussion, he has some thoughts on the Marlins pulling starting pitcher Uri Perez after 7 perfect innings and 90-plus pitches the other day. What are your thoughts?
Okay, I don't say this just because it very nearly exploded in the Marlins' face because the bullpen exploded and they ended up winning 9-8, I think it was. I think there are some things, very few, more important than an emphasis on winning. And I think pitching a perfect game is one of them. It's one of the rarest things in sports. It's tenfold more rare than a no-hitter. And I think he was 6 outs away. I think he should have been given a chance, particularly for a team, a middling team that's having a good season but isn't, they're in the playoff chase. I just think he should have been given a chance to pitch a perfect game.
So you say there are some things more important than winning. This actually dovetails with winning because rare is the perfect game that you lose. So
Right.
it's not like it's more important than
Yes.
winning. You get the perfect
Correct.
game. You have largely, without exception, won that game unless the guy opposite you is also throwing a shutout.
Yeah, but when I say it like that, what I mean is if I'm Scott McCullough, my emphasis
What
is...
about Clayton?
What about Clayton?
Or Clayton, I'm sorry.
Who is Scott McCullough?
You know, I have a friend named Scott
That's
McCullough.
my
I'm
mom's
sorry.
coworker's husband.
I have a okay. I'm sorry.
No way.
Apologies. Okay.
Can we call him and ask what he would have done in that spot?
Please.
You have his number, Chris?
That's funny.
Try it again.
I'm sorry about that. I'm sorry to both McCulloughs. But if I'm the manager, my emphasis is this kid deserves a once-in-a-career shot at a perfect game. My emphasis is not, you know what, we have a 4% better chance to win if we go to the
what
bullpen.
are the things, now that you're making the list, what are the things more important than winning? Because I do agree with him. I do think there are rare instances where you can prioritize the individual over the team, and this would be one of them because it's not even a no-hitter. Like, that time is past in baseball. There are a lot of bullpen no-hitters, and in fact, I don't even think that they get very much fanfare anymore because of how it is you've cheapened the no-hitter when it's 6 bullpen guys
Right.
walking 6. But a perfect game, 27 batters faced, your team doesn't make any errors, you don't walk anybody, nobody reaches base. There have only been 24 of those ever, and he was 6 outs away. Do you guys hear a lot of arguments on the other side of this? Is this about as close as you will come to consensus in sports where most sports fans are like, oh, come on, they used to throw 130 pitches. You got to let him finish that game. I'm tired of all of these maximizations of efficiency that steal the sport's soul by doing silly sort of math instead of like giving a young pitcher a chance at immortality.
I mean, almost every Marlin fan reaction that I saw wanted Yuri Perez to at least have a shot at getting 6 more outs. It's why it was so weird. Like, the Marlins television guy, Kyle Sealaff, called Marlins fans brain dead.
Yeah, he
who
did.
felt that way.
He did.
What?
Yeah,
brain dead.
Yeah, he apologized for it. He walked it back, but yes, he was castigating the audience in a way that was dismissive, and he then apologized.
They have a
for
dead
it.
brain, Greg.
That's absolutely ridiculous.
What?
There you go. There's a rumor that may make the catchphrase countdown. Right, and the committee has met on this, and the reason it qualifies for the catchphrase countdown is that although that just sounds like gibberish, what it is a repeat of the word what.
Tony, you got to work on yours because it does have that.
Well, he's the
parrot.
master,
I
though.
know, but
Mine's lacking the parrot.
Well, you can try to upgrade your game.
Yes, it's a series of 8 was, W-H-U, followed by a what? Yes.
I'd like you guys to challenge each other here.
Okay, go ahead, Tony.
What? Oh, I see where it is. It's his cheeks are looser. That's what it is.
That's it.
What?
No, you got to start off a little higher.
You know, it's a Cody thing. The Codys can do it.
Can you do it?
Can you do it? Let me see. That's more
That's a
chicken.
chicken.
That's
That's
chicken
a
than
chicken.
chicken.
Do it again. Let me hear you.
That was a bub sound.
I was trying to show off. Go ahead.
Yeah,
do
you
it.
got to go. Better. That's my boy.
By the way, I've gotten Scott McCullough's number. I'm going to text him.
All right. Well, no, just call him. Let's call
him.
Let's
I haven't talked to this guy in 15 years.
Just say it's Chris Cody.
Oh, just okay. Yeah, this is a
No,
normal thing
I
to say.
want to hear. I want him to pick up the phone and go, Scott.
My dad
how you doing?
confused you with the Marlins
It's
manager.
Chris Cody.
Do it on speaker right
let's
here.
let's do the whole thing.
Hey, it's Chris Cody.
And we'll let him know he's on air.
Yes,
We're old friends.
Yes. Also, if he doesn't answer, just leave him a message, and I'd like for all of us to be able to eavesdrop on how awkward this is. You haven't talked to him in 15 years. Let's go ahead and do that call live. And yes, please tell him he's on the air. There are legal ramifications for not telling him.
All right, here we
Just,
go.
hey, this is Chris Cody. Call me back.
These are the dangers of doing some of these things live.
Hi, if you record your name and reason for calling, I'll see if this person is available.
Oh,
Give him the reason. Give him a long
Chris
reason.
Cody calling about the Miami Marlins.
Scott's going to hear that and go, what?
Please stay on the line. So we'll see if we get through.
I would have liked the more
Holding music.
He's going to be like, Chris Cody and the Marlins. How's Beth?
Just go right into the question.
Why? Hey, it's Chris.
okay. It's all right. It's all right. It's all right.
I'm sorry, this person is not available.
Chris, hold on. Hang up, and now call back and make the explanation more detailed.
Okay.
Say,
What would you have done if you had your pitcher with
Yes,
6 outs left in a perfect game?
Yes. Give him.
Hi, if you record your name and reason for calling, I'll see if this person is
Chris
available.
again.
Hey, it's Chris again. I'm calling because my dad referenced Clayton McCullough. He said Scott McCullough. He meant Clayton McCullough. He said Scott McCullough. He's talking about the Marlins. We want to know if you would have done the same thing as Clayton McCullough with this big Marlins controversy on Sunday. Call me back.
Thanks. Please stay on the line.
You're welcome. Love hold music.
Put it on the poll, Juju, at Le Batard Show. Do you love hold music? It's the first time I've heard anybody say that. That's unfortunate.
It's very exciting.
He's reading it.
I'm sorry, this person is not available.
He's a busy man.
I'll send him a text.
That's fine. We'll get back to him. Tony, how did your excursion over to the Heat store go? Were you able to get in there? They don't allow filming in there, right?
They don't, but we do. So we were able to go in there and look. Obviously, as you see, I'm empty-handed, but I did have some information. I'd like you to watch our little package here. Here, the store has just opened. We're going to go see if we can find any Giannis Antetokounmpo 34 jerseys. We're going to try and find those here at the Heat store. Hopefully we have some good luck. If not, maybe the Heat got to him before we did. I don't know. All right. I was just told by Heat Brass that 34 is gone. There's no 34s. I'm going to see if maybe they left one in the back behind a Heat Bam 83.
The Heat do a pretty good job of erasing their mistakes quickly. I've got a funny story to tell you guys about something that happened one time with
I'm not
them.
going to say. Sources told me that there was a long conversation late at night, and under the cloak of darkness, they took all the 34s to an undisclosed location. We don't know where the 34s are. We don't know how we can get our hands on them. They're completely gone. So I'm going to have to continue looking for them then.
This is a true story, and I don't know how it is that they do this. I've told this story before, and it's a little bit crazy. Mickey Arison came on our show, which was at the time just a live radio show. So if you were going to get anything from our show, it wasn't quite as clippable or as available as it might otherwise be. There was just a couple of places to get it. You either got it live when it happened on the radio, or we were just at the time beginning the podcasting venture. So there were ways to get it via podcast, although largely it was mostly just a radio show. We were interviewing Heat owner Mickey Arison, and at the time I was asking him some form of how is it that you make sure that Chris Bosh doesn't leave the Miami Heat after LeBron James was leaving the Miami Heat. And his response was unfortunate in that he sort of said, well, what? I don't have any control over any of what these people end up doing. We're not in the times of slavery. And so when he said that, like, I winced, and it was obviously a bad thing to say. And then all of a sudden, no one could get our podcast. Like it wasn't sound that could go anywhere. No one had the sound. The sound vanished. I couldn't call up our podcast. All of a sudden, now I don't know what happened. It's a complete mystery what happened, but that sound never again saw the light of day. It just vanished into thin air. And so I imagine when the number 34 jersey goes out and the Heat are embarrassed by the fact that Antetokounmpo isn't wearing number 34 anymore. What ends up happening there, Zaz, is an assortment of Heat employees are made to know that those jerseys are not to be seen by anyone ever again, that those jerseys are put in an incinerator. I don't know. There may have been bodies cremated last night in South Florida that had a bunch of Antetokounmpo 34 jerseys in there because of the Heat just making that vanish.
Dan, they have one guy who's the Heat guy when it comes to funerals and velorios and whatnots, and all of a sudden they made the call, oye, Pepe, te traigo algo.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, black duffel bags show up, a black truck. He puts them in, lights it up, gone.
Are you concerned at all that that's what's about to happen to this episode since you told that story?
Yeah, probably. Harvey Keitel in The Fixer shows up, and they go to a junkyard of some sort, and then, Mr. Wolf shows up.
Pulp Fiction.
Yes. What did I say?
In The Fixer.
I called it In The Fixer instead of as the Fixer. He showed up as the Fixer in Pulp Fiction. Yes.
Dan doesn't know movies.
Thank you. What can you tell me about Pulp Fiction?
I love Pulp Fiction.
My favorite movie.
I actually watched it. I love that song, the dance song, with Travolta and what's her name dancing?
Uma Thurman.
Uma Thurman. Used to love her, that kind of thing. Big scene.
You really petered out there.
No, it's that kind of thing.
Okay, you petered out again.
Okay.
What?
Exactly.
Ron McGill is there with us, and we will get to him in just a second. We've got an assortment of things to ask him, but before we do that, Greg, can you give us your top 5 list of what you believe to be your strengths?
Sure.
Beginning with number 5. Any OLIs, or you just...
No, I follow the rules. You said 5. I got 5.
All right, number 5, Greg Cody's strength.
Miami Herald sports columnist.
So writing.
Yeah.
Number 4.
Greg Cody Show podcast host.
Number 3.
Loyal as shit.
Number 2.
8-time PFPI champion.
How many in the modern era?
A couple.
You're a bit of a storied franchise. You're like the Celtics. You won them back in the 50s,
lot of them.
back in the 50s and 60s.
They didn't go away.
And the number 1, Greg Cody strength.
Okay, in retrospect, this should have been number 2, and PFPI champion should have been number 1. But number 1, loving husband and father. Not quite as funny as 8-time PFPI champion, I will admit.
Yeah, that order would have been better if you.
Notice comedy's not on the list.
Yeah.
That's number 6.
Ron McGill is with us. We have told you in the past there have been no greater contributors to the Ron McGill Substantive Endowment than the listeners of this radio show. He is now retired, but he is still doing all of the same things without all of the same headaches for the zoo as he continues to curate the endowment. That is his life's work. That is going to be part of his legacy. And we will tell you again, all of that money that doesn't go to his wife and buying her clothes and cars goes directly to charity without any bureaucracy. It's and when I say charity, it's to help wildlife with conservation efforts that Ron McGill is committed to, and I've seen some of that work firsthand. He makes the dollars go a long way to help with a lot of animals throughout the animal kingdom. Let's get to some of these videos here. Ron, when I was with you in Africa, we had a couple of, I'm going to call them incidents with elephants, much larger than this one. But here is an elephant calf, and let's play this video for Ron. Give us some play-by-play here, Ron.
Oh, yeah. This is a guy who thinks he's a lot bigger than he is, but he's very close to an adult. these young guys they're incredibly bold, and they get really full of themselves. And this is a guy. This happened to us out there. You know, we had these young elephants. They put out their ears, they threaten, they charge, but they never leave far away from one of the adults. And as soon as the adults walk away, man, they run right. Oh wait, don't go, please, don't leave me alone. They're so cute.
But a coward. Not really
Not a coward. He's kind of sowing his oats. It's kind of like in The Lion King. You know, when I can't wait to be king, he goes, "Rah, rah," and then all of a sudden Mufasa gets by, "Rah," and that's when you get to feel it.
Ron, the elephant is an odd-looking animal, no?
Yeah. You know, it's certainly got some strange features to it, absolutely, but it's still incredible.
Is it the biggest ears in the animal kingdom? In my childhood, I had a Chihuahua, and we entered a contest in Miramar and finished in second place, longest ears. We finished second to a rabbit. Thank you for asking.
Yeah.
There were only 2 competitors in the contest, so the Chihuahua finished last technically, but second place. Are there larger ears than the elephants anywhere in the animal kingdom?
No, the African elephant has the largest ears, external ears of any animal.
Ron, I have a question here from our YouTube chat. They're asking, what's the most creative way animals deal with intense heat?
Well, vultures poop on themselves. They poop all over their legs as the poop dries off and evaporates. It cools them off. That's kind of an interesting way to cool yourself off.
It's the way I do it.
Yeah, it does work.
Let's see some more video here. You tell me what this man on a snowmobile should be feeling as he's trying to chase off a bear. This is crazy.
He's stupid is what he is. Assuming this is not AI. Yeah, I don't know. I'm thinking it's AI, guys. Thinking it's AI.
Because that's okay. So how uncommon or rare would that be? I can't tell that.
I say it's not AI.
Okay, but
I don't think that's not AI, man.
Okay, I don't want to argue about this way. Let's pretend for the purposes of this video that we haven't been fooled by artificial intelligence. Is this something that's in any way feasible?
It's feasible. It's certainly feasible, but look at the shadow of the bear and look at the shadow of the snowmobile. They don't match. Okay.
It's because they're different shapes.
I don't want to do this.
Well,
with
no,
you.
it's not that they're different shapes. There should be a shadow to the right of the snowmobile, like there's a shadow to the right of the bear.
There is a shadow underneath the
Ron, I'm
snowmobile.
being told it's not AI. You can continue to dispute it, but it sort of ruins the premise of what it is that we're doing, and it may indeed be fake, but they're telling me it's not fake. So entertain the idea that it's real.
Okay, entertain the idea that it's real. Then it might be a captive bear, one of these, movie bears that they use for different things. Nobody would be following that bear with a camera. When that bear turns around, the guy with the camera's right there. No, nobody is that stupid.
You refuse to entertain whether or not this is real, and I'm asking you to tell me about the dangers of the bear in this situation, because it's not
incredibly dangerous. It's incredibly dangerous. It's incredibly dangerous, incredibly stupid, incredibly dangerous. That is a grizzly bear. That is not a black bear. It's a grizzly bear. And it's incredibly dangerous what that person's doing.
A movie bear.
Ron,
it could be a movie.
Ron, I believe we've done this with only a football team. I want you to make a soccer team full of animals.
Oh, jeez. I don't know. A soccer team? They'd have to be really quick. I'd still have to go with a cheetah. I'd have to go with a rabbit. A jackrabbit would be great. Jackrabbit would be fantastic.
The ball is bigger than the jackrabbit. The jackrabbit's not moving the ball down the field. The jackrabbit's going to have all sorts of difficulties. Like, it's not going to move the ball.
Look like Pulisic out there.
Let's go from the back. First of all, who's your goalkeeper? Is it the gorilla?
No, the orangutan.
Okay, because
bigger arm spread, much bigger arm spread.
Yeah, but not as tall. That might have some trouble, like getting up on.
That's what the long arms are for.
Right.
If you have 8-foot arms, you just put them above your head, Dan.
Better than Matt Freeze.
Okay, so fine, an orangutan. How about backline defenders? You want the goal box protected by, and you don't want animals that penalize. You don't want people who are clumsy or creatures that are clumsy that are going to knock people over. Who's your backline defense?
Oh, jeez. I want to go with a cheetah. Yeah.
So just speed? You're going all speed. We're not a very physical team.
No, not. You get physical, you get called fouls, and you just told me no fouls. You told me no fouls. So this is all speed. It's all speed.
That really petered out.
What's the next position, Dan? Next position. I don't know those positions.
Midfield. You got midfield, and then you got strikers. You got wings and forwards.
Okay, midfield, I'm going to go with greater kudos. Greater kudos, yeah, big antelope.
Because?
Well, because they're fast, they're tall, they got big horns, which they can use to head the ball really well.
Nice.
I mean, those horns can hit it like a baseball bat.
What formation are we playing?
5-4-1.
Wow. Didn't expect that.
How about your strikers?
They're going to be Impalas. Definitely Impalas.
Okay, so
Quick.
I've got a lot, but my team's small, right? You're not going with any of the big animals. You don't.
No, because they're not quick enough. They're not quick enough. Soccer is a fast sport. Okay, rhinos are not quick. Elephants are not quick. Hippos are not quick. Antelope are quick. And when you got a set of horns like that, and you're heading a ball, man, that's a Babe Ruth baseball bat.
So how about who's Holland? Who is the quick, tall creature that is going to be able to jump over people for head balls?
Eland.
Erland.
What
about
Erling Haaland? I don't know what animal that is. What is an eland?
The eland is the largest antelope in the world, has a good set of horns, and can jump 6 feet straight up in the air without taking a step.
I've been looking up the kudu, the impala, and the eland, and they all look exactly the same to me, the layman. But they look exactly the same.
So what are the differences between these animals? Because this team does look like you've made it up of clones.
I have not made it up of clones. Come on, guys. Are you really looking at, you're saying the impala looks like the eland? Are you serious?
Are these all just the boring animals at the zoo?
No, put it on the
They're not boring animals. These are fast animals.
The ones
these
you
are
get to,
animals.
you're like, all right, I'm going to go to the next thing.
Wow.
I want a giraffe up front. Who's going to stop that header?
Oh, there we go. Or a head ball, as Dan said.
The giraffe is very slow, okay? Very slow. Watch a giraffe swing its neck. It's very slow. Watch a kudu swing its neck. Watch an eland jump. Watch a cheetah run.
The
Come on,
giraffe's
guys.
head balls are going to go 40 feet over
That's
the goal.
true.
Over
It's
the
going to be
net.
quite the angle down, but...
Look at that impala. Look at the curl in the horns. It's perfect for the ball. You could almost use it like a cesta.
All right.
You'd like hide
On to the next one.
Let's look at another video here. Explain to me what is happening here. Give us some play-by-play. Is the elephant, not the orangutan, is the elephant here saving? How smart is this animal? Is it actually saving an impala from drowning?
Yeah. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. Elephants are incredibly intelligent, and I feel they have empathy, they have compassion, and yes, that's exactly what that elephant is doing. Absolutely.
What is the most moving thing like that you have seen in the wild, where you have seen the elephant be gentle? You've told us about seeing grieving elephants. You've told us about elephants that mourn their dead. But what is the most compassionate act you've seen in the wild, which can be very cruel?
Compassionate? I don't know. I mean, I've seen, not with elephants, but I've seen like with primates. I've seen baboons, which normally are just not my favorite animal, but I've seen them with youngsters and other baboons coming up and offering, to groom the youngster and to stroke the youngster and even share food sometimes with the youngster. So I've seen that kind of community effort to make the troops stronger. See some compassion that way. And on the flip side, when an animal dies, you see the sadness, you see the mourning. I've seen mothers carry their dead infants around for days, refusing to believe they've died.
What is your issue with the baboon? What is the nature of your beef with the baboon?
Baboons are just, they're like dirty little people that bite, and they can be aggressive. They can be, really nasty in a lot of ways. I'm not a big fan of baboons in the wild, especially in places like Southern Africa, where they become so accustomed to people. They'll jump in your vans. They'll steal your food. They'll, if you go to, even in restaurants, you go to restaurants in places even like Cape Town, and these baboons will come up to your table and take your food. They're heathens. That's what it is. They're heathens.
Ron, can you tell me, speaking of sad animals, can you describe for the audience this particular sad animal? What is the nature of this sad animal here?
This is an animal that just watched the USA get flogged by Belgium.
How many chins do you see?
Oh, no. You went after your dad's double chin. That is mean.
That's a neck under there. It's not another chin.
It's a couple of them.
Dan, those baboons, they got that nasty little butt. You know what I'm talking about? They got that nasty butt.
They do.
What do you mean?
Most primates do have a very kind of exposed pink, sometimes brightly colored red and purple butt. Depending, you look at the mandrill. Look at the mandrill's butt. That's a good butt.
Barber mandrill.
That nasty butt.
Not Barber mandrill.
Best butts in the animal kingdom.
Let's look at another video here. The orangutan. Can you explain to me what is happening here? This animal evidently has decided to learn from its keepers here, and they clean up after leaving. And so he's decided now that he's washing his hands. Is that something that he's just learning from the people there?
Yeah, he's learned that from learned behavior from watching other people do it, and he could very well enjoy it too. I mean, it's just something, everybody has their thing. Same thing with orangutans. We've seen. Listen, we had an orangutan here that I watched. He watched the keeper open a lock with a key, and then he took a stick and he tried to use it as a key to open the lock. That's how intelligent they are.
This is like when my daughter tries to help me with the dishes. It's like she thinks she's helping, but you're not really doing anything here. I could do this a lot quicker without you.
Can you give me the smart rankings on animals? The dolphin is number 1, correct? Of all of the animals?
I look at the dolphin and the chimpanzee are kind of neck and neck. They're right next to each other. Dolphins and chimpanzees probably the most intelligent. So many of the cetaceans, the whales, the porpoises, they're incredibly intelligent animals that we just don't know enough about yet. But then you go to the elephant right after that. I think the elephant is incredibly intelligent. Some of the canines, the wolves, of course, the domestic dogs, they're very intelligent, very pack-oriented, very community-oriented. The orangutan, again,
the octopi,
the octopus. The octopus is an intelligent animal that has gotten a lot of publicity lately, especially after that movie came out. My friend the octopus, or something like that.
But Ron, I'm sorry, Ron. Can you put it into context when you say these are smart animals, like?
Like a chimpanzee, a dolphin, can easily have the intelligence of a 6-7-year-old child. Probably more so when it comes to the intricacies of communication, their vocabulary to each other. When I'm talking about the cetaceans now, the porpoises, the dolphins, the whales, very, very intricate communications that they have. Elephants are the same way. They make different sounds that we can't even hear that they use to communicate with each other. So that level of intelligence is probably higher than most children.
Ron, we were in Wyoming recently and had private guided tours to Grand Teton and Yellowstone. And one of the sights I saw that almost brought me to tears, it surprised me. We were about 15 feet from a small herd of bison, including majestic males who must have weighed like 2,500 pounds or something.
15 feet is pretty close there, Greg. That's pretty close.
Yeah. What is an animal in the wild that is able, just the sight of it, to make you the most emotional?
Oh, it just depends on there's that mandrill butt. I told you, that was beautiful, right?
So that's it? That's your selection? That moves you to tears, seeing the mandrill's butt?
No, that's not what moves me. No. I guess the animal that moved me to tears was the mountain gorilla. When I saw a mountain gorilla face to face the first time up in the volcanoes of Rwanda, I did cry.
Didn't you have one of those breathe on you? Didn't you? Weren't you close enough to?
I did. It sat right next to me and actually took its lips and tugged on my earlobe.
Wow!
Did you get the chills?
Terrifying.
It was goosebumps. It wasn't terrifying. It was majestic.
Coquillita?
Listen, my favorite saying in the world is life isn't measured by the number of breaths you take. It's measured by the number of times your breath is taken away. And that was one of those breathtaking moments.
Greg, why did you feel the need to say it was a private guided tour when a tour would have sufficed? Like just saying that you went on a tour would have sufficed, but you needed to make it both a private and guided tour.
Yeah.
And not a very bright guide, I will tell you, because 15 feet breaks the law, because you're not supposed to be closer than 25 feet to any bison in any national park.
I may have erred in saying, for dramatic effect, I may have erred in saying 15 feet. It might have been 25.4 feet. I don't know.
Okay.
But we were in a sturdy vehicle. We were in no danger. Unlike some.
Oh, so you're in a vehicle. Okay.
Private implies that it's just your group.
It
if
was
you're
not,
on a tour, a bigger tour, there could be other groups with you. Whereas private
you made
tour,
it sound like a rich man's safari. You were eating broccolini the entire time. Like you made it sound like it was really.
Actually, it was.
But there was a Dan Le Batard safari.
You made reference to a private safari.
No,
I
did not call it a private guided tour.
Well, it was my wife and I and a guy in a vehicle
and a couple you swing with.
Yeah, it was a private tour. What can I tell you?
Super private.
It's the three of us.
Your son just
the three
accused
of
you
us.
of being a swinger. Did you not hear your son
Were we
accuse?
swinging with the tour guide? What are you talking about?
Let's go to one more video here in Thailand. Tell me what is happening here, Ron, with this this tourist and the.
Oh, and the praying mantis.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah.
That serves you right, you stupid twit.
Whoa! What do you? Oh, she's got a mantis in her hair.
Right.
Oh my
Yeah,
God.
that's right.
What is that? What?
That's the mantis that went into her hair because she was provoking and trying to intimidate the mantis, and now she probably urinated on herself.
Oh my God.
Ron, I never see this side of you except when it comes to human beings being dumb about animals. I don't think you need to be calling her stupid twit.
I don't like people. Yeah, because you know why? Why is she intimidating? Why is she trying to tantalize that praying mantis?
Yeah.
Why doesn't she just leave it alone?
Right on.
Okay?
It's a mostly inoffensive term for foolish, silly, or an annoying person. Kind of fits.
There
Twit.
you go. Thank you very much.
I was scared of where he was headed there.
So was I.
When he got to Twit, I was relieved. Twit seemed far more benign than where I thought he was headed. I thought we were going to see a side of Ron McGill that none of us wanted to see. That would have been the last time we would have seen Ron McGill in any form. Yes. See you later, Ron. Good talking to you. Even though he offends tourists and yells at innocent human beings who have dared to bother an insect, and even though he
You're molesting that animal. You okay? You're harassing that animal. You're just being a jerk.
Wait,
a twit.
Wait,
Yeah.
but
Conway Twitty.
I know what. When he says molesting an animal, I know what he's doing there. He's speaking in Spanish first. Molestando.
That's exactly right. That's
I know,
exactly right.
but molesting, it has a sexual connotation in English.
You
Molesting
guys,
does.
You guys are always in the gutter. Okay, you're always in the gutter. Always in the gutter.
I was with you, Dan.
In Spanish, molestando is not something that's
Bothering.
sexual. I know,
Bothering.
but in English, molesting is something that has a sexual undercurrent. So you made it sound in saying she was molesting an animal that don't you guys think when you think of molesting, doesn't it have sexual undercurrents to you in English?
Where's my twit?
Oh God.
See you later, Ron. Good
Thanks,
talking
guys.
to you. Thank you. Pleasure seeing you. He had that one lined up, and that's just where he was going. He was going to "Where's my twit," and he wasn't listening to anything I was saying. You see the vigorous swig he just took, because he's very proud of himself. Zaz, I sense your disgust. What is happening with the way that you're looking at Greg Cody right now? Because look how pleased he is with himself.
Jason Twitlock. Chris Twittingham. Twitty, right? The Yankee.
Conway Twitty. Conway Twitty. Can you
Conway
guys
Twitty.
look up for me, please? Just the reference that he's making there on Conway Twitty. Give me what he's famous for and give me the time period that Conway Twitty was famous. I've told you guys this before. This is a signature way of aging for old sports writers. It's something Kornheiser does all the time as a joke. You give him a word, and he'll just mention somebody from the 50s whose name sounds a little bit like that. So,
Twitty Bang Bang. Great movie. Great film.
It's not a great film.
Yeah, great movie.
Greg, all right, look it up for me, please, Jeremy. Twitty Bang Bang. What year was that film? And give me any and all information you have on Conway Twitty.
Chitty Chitty Bang Bang was a family musical from 1968 starring Dick Van Dyke.
Yeah.
Yep, 100 years old.
Tell you what,
DVD.
much higher on Rotten Tomatoes than I would have thought.
Thank you.
70%.
It's a classic.
Yeah, and Conway Twitty, of course, his real name is Harold Lloyd Jenkins. He's known for I'm powering through the rockabilly scene in the 50s. Duets with Loretta Lynn.
Country singer.
That's what he's known for.
Great singer. I was on an airplane once, and he had, back when you had tickets, I got the seat folder in front of me. There was a Conway Twitty ticket. In other words, he had occupied my seat on the plane before me. Lifetime career highlight for me.
How did you guys react before we get to Amin El Hassan and his World Cup observations to Belgium trash talking us as a country after that 4-1 loss? They put up on their official X account, overturn this. Belgium has bragging rights over the United States and is making fun of the fact that Donald Trump stuck his beak into this. What are your thoughts here as Belgium mocks us?
It just shows what the rest of the world thinks about us as a country, because the reality of it is this had nothing to do with Belgium. There's no reason Belgium should feel like they were slighted in any way based on something that happened with the U.S. against Bosnia-Herzegovina. This is not a Belgium issue. So whatever, they get to feel that way, but it really is just about everyone hating the United
On the
States.
fourth goal, they did the Trump masturbating to giraffes dance, correct? They did the
Trump dance on the fourth goal.
On the fourth goal. They are making fun of America, which is their right when you win 4-1. The knockout stage hasn't had any other victories by that.
Morocco beat Canada 3-0, but the others were close.
Usually at this stage in the tournament, the games feel a little more like Spain and Portugal because the teams are a little more evenly matched once you got past the initial dilutions of how they've expanded the tournament.
Yeah, I have a feeling Argentina is going to absolutely crush Egypt today. But having said that, the U.S. deserved the comeuppance. The U.S. deserved all the trolling and all the making fun of. And so
Why?
Because Donald Trump tried to hijack the tournament. Donald Trump pulled strings to get his buddy Infantino to reinstate somebody. That hadn't happened in the World Cup since the 1960s, where a red card was overturned in a knockout round. It was almost unheard of, except for one previous instance. I can see why Belgium would have felt cheated. And had the U.S. won because of the Balagon thing, there would have been a forever invisible asterisk next to the U.S. victory. It was just a complete mess.
Wait a minute. If it's a forever invisible asterisk, is it actually visible? Like,
yes.
What is happening? No, wait a minute.
But you add invisible.
If it's a forever invisible asterisk, then there's not an asterisk.
Yes, there is. And here's an example: Barry Bonds.
But I think a lot of people just put the asterisk.
Either you put the asterisk in or you don't put it in. You don't put an invisible asterisk in. Like one of
That's
these.
a sneaky move, though.
That is a sneaky move. What is it, in that invisible ink?
Is
that
it
people
there? I can't
text
see
me
it.
with? I can't, because you don't want to, what are you talking about? It's either an asterisk or it's not an asterisk. It's not an invisible asterisk.
If you look in the MLB record book, there is no asterisk next to Barry Bonds as the home run king, even though everybody knows there's an asterisk there. It's invisible.
What just happened to the middle of that word?
I ran out of breath.
Could it be glow in the dark?
Ooh, a glow in the dark. We have to do this. You can cup your eyes to the wall.
Like black light?
Here's what I mean. You know the asterisk is there, but you can't see it. But it's still there. That's an invisible asterisk.
I think it needs to be visible in order for it to be there.
Nope.
I think there has to be something tangible and empirical about the asterisk. Otherwise, it's not an asterisk. Otherwise, how do you know it's an asterisk if it's not visible?
You know.
So it's like porn?
It's not the same.
You know it when you don't see it?
That's right. As the Supreme Court said. That's correct.
Here is another back and forth that I wanted to get into, and I want to ask you guys what you think of this. This is ugly, okay? It's ugly in a lot of different ways, but France barely won against Paraguay, and they barely won, and afterward Mbappe said, I don't like the way they play. That's dirty. What was all of that? That wasn't soccer. And now a senator in Paraguay, Celeste Amarilla, she says of Mbappe, and this is just racist, what she's saying, quote, "This brute hasn't even learned to write. Instead of breast milk, he grew up sucking on coconuts, and the most educated creatures he ever heard were chimpanzees. You should have given him the middle finger, Orlando Gill, a colonized Cameroonian pretending to be French, resentful, newly rich, arrogant, and ugly. He was nervous and scared to death all game, like his whole team. They didn't even manage to score a single goal until they got lucky with a penalty. The only thing many of us blame the team for is not giving him a full-handed slap at the end of the game. I'm not even a football fan." Mbappe has come back saying this is racist, it should be condemned, and now she has written a long open letter. And this is the part that's disturbing to me. the most disturbing part of this in 2026. This is a platform now. Like, she's doubling down in an open letter. She's not apologizing. She's not backing away from what it is that she has said. But it's a platform now. This is what's happening now with racism as people march more and more toward the freedom of hate speech. I'm allowed to say whatever I want, however it is I want. This has its backing in small corners of people backing this nonsense when it's just it's as flagrantly racist as a political figure will ever put commentary on. And what is the latest in the open letter, Roy?
Well, she said that she wrote her initial comments while boiling in blood. Her blood was boiling. And while she says that she regrets saying that, she's asking for a apology and retraction from Mbappe for his comments towards her.
This is a platform now. It is more acceptable. This used to be in hiding, right? You used to have to hide this under a hood. But more and more these days, this pocket of people who would support this kind of speech and this kind of sentiment see some sort of courage in what it is that she's doing, or if not courage, some form of freedom fighting in being able to say what it is you want, regardless of how it lands on people. And it should always be condemned, no matter what the nationality is or the language it's being said in.
And it should be condemned within Paraguay. I mean, Paraguayans cannot agree with that, and they're the ones who have to condemn it. Anybody who's a football fan in Paraguay knows Mbappe is one of the most gifted, brilliant players in the world, and that Paraguay knew the only chance it had was to play the ugliest form of football imaginable to try to get that game to penalty kicks. That was their only chance to win, and they almost pulled it off, but it was a victory for the World Cup when that style of play was eliminated.
I'm going to read the last sentence of this open letter. Retract your statement, honor your French citizenship, and apologize to me. Otherwise, I may instigate legal action for gender violence.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, this is pretty wild stuff that's in this new statement from her. She also says, I tell them to be careful with Paraguayans. We already put Ronaldinho in prison for corruption. Don't underestimate me. I can take you to court. What the hell is this?
Guys,
crazy.
In a obviously, I just started watching soccer. Very excited about the World Cup. Very excited about finding out, is Mbappe like Wemby? I need people that know soccer to kind of help me out here, right? Like Wemby, everybody loved him. He's this incredible player. Oh my God. Yeah. One person, me, said there's a bit of evil behind the eyes, right? So I need to know. I haven't really locked in on Mbappe yet. Is he very Wemby-like in the sense that he's the best player, but then also a bit of evil behind his eyes?
Evil is a bit strong. I don't believe he is viewed throughout the globe as anything.
Well, neither was Wemby until I put that out.
He is in Paraguay.
A majestic, not in Paraguay, no, Paraguay. This is one person. This is one senator. Mbappe. The stars are being stars in this tournament. It's one of the reasons that the United States performance was so disappointing, and it was illustrated to us because you've seen the best players being the best. Ronaldo came under a good amount of criticism because he was not elevating his 41-year-old game to the level where, Messi is, where Mbappe is. Mbappe's goal scoring he is the most freakishly talented athletic striker playing soccer. It's either him or Haaland, right? Like it's you've got to choose from those two. And I don't know how Messi does what he does. I've heard people talk. I'm stuck in an algorithm now where I'm getting all of Zlatan and Messi's best goals and everything that's being talked about around them. And I've heard other football players talk about how, for example, Ronaldo and Zlatan work out in the weight room. And they're like, Messi just walks past the weight room. He walks past the weight room with a cup of coffee. He's not actually in there doing the things that majestic athletes do. He just knows how to keep the soccer ball on a string, and he sees a bunch of things that other people don't see.
My algorithm's so much better than yours.
I don't think it is. Not until you've seen Zlatan's bicycle kick from 40 yards out. From 40 yards out.
But you're also getting shipping containers falling to the bottom of the ocean, we learned last week.
Yes.
So it's Zlatan, Haaland, and shipping containers falling to the bottom of the ocean.
And Mr. Ballin. I'm getting a lot of
Mr. Ballin's good,
Ooh,
Dan.
okay.
You know about Mr. Ballin?
Yeah, a lot of storytelling of. Yes, I'm getting an assortment of odd things on my algorithm, but they are not Zaz's algorithm of just boobs.
Starting
everywhere.
to ponder a couple things, huh?
In fact, my wife came through the other day. This actually happened. This happened 2 days ago. She's looking at the screen as all of the YouTube stuff is on there, and she's like, ranking the Bond girls, huh? Because there was
That's not Mr. Ballin's content, by the way. Just letting you guys know.
It was, I don't know how that ended up there. It's because I'm watching.
I didn't click on that.
Yeah, for sure.
No, but
Who do you got number one?
But it's not my rankings.
Well, who do you have number one,
of
Dan?
the Bond girls? Grace Jones.
Good choice.
A quick aside, we mentioned Wemby before. I had this thought the other day. You guys think Wemby has ever given a high five? Just think about that for a second.
He's so tall.
So he has to put it up by his ear.
No, it makes people jump. It makes people jump.
It's a low five.
You think so?
He's only given low fives his entire life, and I feel bad for him.
So put it on the poll at Le Batard Show. Look at the size of his hands. At Le Batard Show, has Wemby ever given anybody a high five? Yes or no?
If he's as evil as Tony thinks he is, he's the type of guy who's always holding his hands sky
I've been
high,
vindicated on that, by the
waiting for people to try to reach, 11 feet in the air.
Nobody also had an answer for me on whether Mbappe is like Wemby and has a twinge of evil.
I said evil was too strong. I don't think anybody has that assessment of Mbappe. I think people enjoy Mbappe's work and think of him strictly as a brilliant striker.
I think Mbappe has a good evil working for him, which is the desperation to score at anybody's expense. Quick stat, historical perspective on the stars rising in this World Cup. Messi, Mbappe, and Haaland all have 7 goals, and Kane of England has 6. First time in World Cup history, 3 players have all had 7 goals, and they each have a couple of games plus left, so it's just epic.
When you watch those guys play, though, you see what it is that keeps the United States from the higher level, right? When you watch that game last night, and there's just never a threat of any kind where you're looking at Belgium and saying they're scared of something here that the United States has.
Well, it's because Haaland is our 4th best tight end in the NFL. Like, he'd be George Kittle. Put George Kittle out there and see what he does.
Look, no. That's not true. Ocho Cinco said he played with Real Madrid and couldn't touch the football.
No, but that's not Ocho Cinco training since he was 4 years old.
No, don't do that. It's Messi. I put him on a field. Does he look? I put him in the grocery store. I put him anywhere in public. Does he look like a great athlete to you? That's not the best soccer player ever. Doesn't look like a majestic athlete in any way. Doesn't even look like he's that fast.
Also, the United States has run out of that excuse. Our players, Pulisic, anybody you can name on the U.S. team, has been playing soccer since they were 4 years
There
old.
aren't enough of them, though. There's not enough of them. Like, you really don't believe that our greatest NBA players, our greatest football players, if they played soccer instead of football when they were little and trained just that, we wouldn't be on the level?
No,
I
think
I disagree.
it's just typical American arrogance. It's just typical.
I'm pretty sure Holland is like faster than Jameer Gibbs.
Yeah,
that can't be
in terms
true.
of like I know
That
one's
cannot be
wearing
true.
pads, but in terms of like their peak speed last year.
I know that Americans always feel that their things are the best things, but let's bring in Amin here. How are you doing, incidentally, Amin? Brazil loses. You are always shocked when Brazil loses, and so how did you react to Brazil being eliminated from the tournament?
Well, I would say that football as a game rewards the aggressor, rewards the team that plays football. The team that plays scared and plays back does not deserve to win. And Ancelotti came here to Brazil and he instituted a style in that game that is not Brazilian. That is what a team with no talent does. This is what Paraguay did, right? We park the bus, we make it ugly, and we try to exist off of counterattacks. And one of those will go in, and then we'll win. And that's just not the Brazilian way. So I watched that game. It's funny. I had the conversation in the group chat a couple weeks back about watching USA soccer. So you guys enjoy this? Is this aesthetically pleasing to you? Do you guys like this? And Whitty couldn't wrap his mind around it. He was like, "Oh, they're successful." I'm like, no. Is this enjoyable to you? And I watched that game yesterday, and had Brazil won, I would have walked away disgusted because that's not what we do.
And how did you walk away?
I walked away disgusted because that's not how we do. If we had lost, if we had been aggressive and lost because Holland was just so good, then I can live with that. It's tough to see us play a style. It would be like if you rooted for the St. Louis Rams in like the early 2000s, right? The greatest show on turf. And they decided, oh, we're just going to run the ball every single time and maybe bubble screens. Like you'd be like, what are we doing? That's not what we do. And so that was a little bit of a shocker and a disappointment. Like I said, I did not feel good about that game at all, about the way we played it. Not the result, but the actual style of play.
I'm glad you said that because that, to me, that was an insult to the 5 teams that won a record 5 championships. That was not Brazil football to me. That was not the beautiful game. I didn't even recognize it, and you could hear in the crowd that they were restless about the style of play.
Yeah, absolutely. And by the way, just to answer the question you guys were contemplating, football is a thinking man's game. As much as I don't like Messi, he is the perfect example of someone of not exactly explosive speed or size or athleticism, and the American thinking of, oh, it's just because our best athletes. Like, you're trying to find an excuse, Zaz, other than we're not good at it because it's not part of the culture. It's not about the athletes. It's not part of the culture. And you're trying to create in a lab something that is organic. And the organic will always outduel and outlast what's created in a lab. And to you, Dan, you said, oh, because we don't have a Messi or an Mbappe. That's not why. Does Belgium have one of those? No, but they beat you pretty handily. The idea is, do you have players that are organically grown and play together? And that's what the USA lacks. They've started to get talented players from other places and having them seeded all over the world in the better leagues, and that's a start. But then the next part is, okay, now how do we play together? Because, again, this is a thinking man's game. This is not a star game or an athlete game. It's a thinking man's game.
I don't understand how what you're saying is any different from what I'm at least trying to say, where you're saying it's not part of our culture. Yeah, that's exactly the point that I'm trying to make here. If it were part of our culture, our greatest athletes would look to play soccer first before the other sports.
You see, that's where you go wrong. It's not about what our greatest athletes are doing. It's about what any of these athletes are doing, right? Because it's not like the greatest athletes are the ones who are the greatest players. It's about guys who are invested and embedded in soccer in a way that is not clinical. It's not we went to a camp and all that stuff. It is organic. It's out in the streets. It's with a rag tied together. That's what it is. It's not, oh, man, if so-and-so, I don't know, Jalen Waddle, oh, if he played soccer, he'd be great. No, that's not the point. You keep taking it back to our greatest athletes, and it's not about the caliber of athlete. It's about the culture.
But you don't think the other countries, all these other countries, their greatest athletes choose soccer as their first sport, right?
No, that's not true. There are players that play rugby. There are players that play cricket. There are players that play basketball. There are also, let's not pretend like this is the only country where they have multiple sports. They have track athletes. They have swimming athletes. They have canoeing. They've got skiers and all that stuff. All these people, all these countries have multiple sports they compete in. Volleyball is way bigger internationally than it is here on the men's side. They got guys that play volleyball over there. We can't continue to make it, if it was just, oh, man, if we took it seriously. That's what we're doing. No, you are taking it seriously. You're just not good enough.
I do think it's a funny thing to think about, the idea of because we have athletes who are good with their hands, they would be that good also with their feet. Like that, they're different skill sets. Like it's not exactly. You can't just take someone. There are plenty of teams. There are plenty of teams more athletic than whoever will hold up the World Cup trophy. In fact, last night, everybody was saying the United States is more athletic than Belgium. Everybody was saying
they are. They are.
They didn't look it, though.
No, and what?
They looked slower.
You got to know what you're doing out there. It's a thinking man's game. And I remember Dan D'Antoni, Mike D'Antoni's brother, had this incredible kind of thing that he came up with when he was a high school coach. He said he'd take the slowest kid and he'd take the fastest kid. And he would say, okay, you guys are going to race. But the one caveat is the slow kid gets to say go. And so the slow kid would beat the fastest kid because he knew when the race was starting in a way that the fast kid didn't. And that's the difference here. And when you know what's going to happen, when you are thinking the game, it allows for such a great advantage over everyone who's reacting. Oh, I'm an athlete. I got quick twitch. Quick twitch is cool. It's great. It's useful. But it cannot defeat the triumph of the mind.
Put it on the poll, please, at Le Batard Show. Did Dan D'Antoni's parents do him dirty by naming him Dan? At Le Batard Show. Let's go ahead and play the World Cup observation music, please.
It is time for to share his
World Cup
game notes. No one in the media will tell you what happened better than my boy.
World Cup Observations is brought to you by Miller Lite. Legendary moments start with a light. Dan, I won't lie. It was a tough weekend for your boy. First, Argentina wins after being on the ropes. Then Brazil blunders its way to a loss to Norway. Then England survived the Azteca. Then Johnny Infantino's FIFA ruling that Flo Balogun, not Balogun, Balogun, automatic one-game suspension would be, well, suspended. I felt like Marty McFly disappearing from the photo as he struggled to play Earth Angel at the Enchantment Under the Sea dance.
Always makes me laugh when he says Enchantment Under the Sea dance. It's such a specific
It was on the banner,
detail.
Dan.
I know, but it's such a specific detail. Enchantment Under the Sea dance is a funny phrase.
I was trying to play the song, Dan, and I was disappearing. My hand was disappearing.
I don't feel so good.
I don't feel so good. I had to sit down. But then USA-Belgium happened, and George and Lorraine kissed on the dance floor just like that. Make no mistake. I am back.
What
oh,
happened?
my God.
You traitor. You were rooting against the United States.
Of course. Is this your first World Cup here? I do this every time. And I did it extra hard because of that damn group chat with Whitty and Mike and all these delusional clowns. Let's address the elephant in the room first. Yes, Brazil lost. Yes, I was disappointed. No, it's nowhere near 2014. I saw a lot of people go, oh, is it me crying again? Nothing will ever reach that. You guys, see, you guys' like standards are so low, you think a round of 16 loss would do that to me.
You cried because they lost 7-1, correct?
7-1 in Brazil in the semifinal for the title that was supposed to be destined for. It was no brainer we were going to win that one. That one was so shocking and so quick. It wasn't even like a gradual 7-1. It was like 3-0, and we're like, what are we doing? That one there will never be another sporting event that moves me emotionally like that. Carlo Ancelotti, Celtics front office, collision course. What are you doing, buddy? Carlo Ancelotti. What the fuck, bro? Not only did he pick Bruno to take a PK, by the way, never took one in a Brazil shirt before, he defended the move afterward like Brad Stevens trying to tell us that this was a good deal. Saying Vinny wasn't even in his top 5, according to the metrics. Ancelotti got the same analytics dude that told Bobby Marks Jaylen Brown is the 7th best player on the team. I'm convinced. Erling Haaland just had a son. Why don't you try being a father, bro? Yes, the World Cup is once every 4 years. But your son will only be a week old for a week. How could you miss that? You could have took that kid off. The Brazil game was made 1,000 times more annoying by my dad. Everyone who tried to troll me via text, via Instagram, you don't come close to my father. Who in an effort to troll me kept saying, give it a Haaland, give it a Haaland, give it a Haaland, every time. Except he didn't say Haaland. He kept pronouncing it Harlan. Give it a Harlan. So when he scored those 2 goals, I didn't see Erling Haaland. I saw Kenny from Half Baked. Legendary comedian Harlan Williams.
Harlan Williams, that's a good reference.
6-minute abs.
But here's the kicker. And what I heard was right between the eyes.
Now I'm picturing Brazil losing to Harlan Williams in the open field.
Or Kevin Harlan. Either or. My father's annoying. Neymar. Scoreboard. Wait, we're the ones who are down. Shit. That was an observation written in real time. Sorry. By the way, I just remembered Tony said Greg's cheeks are looser. That's why he can do the whoa, 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 what.
Yeah, it's true.
Questionable. Cristiano Ronaldo calls it quits. No shit, Sherlock. Chris, quick, look up the origins of the term. No shit, Sherlock. Team Canada head coach Jesse Marsh said after the 3-0 loss to Morocco that he'd rather be Canada than Morocco. Jesse Marsh, you and Neymar deserve one another. England taking dick pills to perform better in Mexico. The perfect alibi. Honey, why do you have all these pills then? Oh, babe, it's just because of the altitude in it. It isn't because of the Latinas.
It helps my cross.
Harry Kane after the match. Did you guys hear him talk?
Yeah, very hoarse.
He sounded like San Antonio Spurs head coach Mitch Johnson auditioning for the role of Bert the Chimney Sweep in Mary Poppins. Yeah, God blimey, in it. Fish and chips. Chimney. Sepp Blatter eloquently tweeting about corruption in FIFA decision-making, saying, quote, football must never be a playground for political power. It's like the Cookie Monster preaching about the importance of self-control. I miss Sepp. Who knew it could get worse? We owe him an apology. Balogun did what Tiger Woods couldn't. Called Donald Trump to get him out of trouble. I guess you could say the USA was overwhelmed by the right wing over the past 36 hours.
Look at him. He's pleased with that joke. Yeah, I got
Soccer
it.
joke,
yeah,
but also
yes,
politics.
Yes, that's right. Both of them. You were very pleased with yourself there.
Thank you.
He was
The USA
waiting.
has
Thank
Jedi
you.
Robinson. So the Belgians executed Order 66. Fries, waffles, chocolate. We got to give it all back to them. Canada out. USA out. Mexico out. I was all out too after that third Belgian goal. I'm talking spent. I smoked a cigarette after that one.
Did you?
Matt Freeze. What killed the dinosaurs? The Ice Age. Tim Ream. Tim Reamed. Malik Tillman. Afterward, apologized to the team, saying, "Das ist mein Schuld, Leute. Ich habe euch alle enttäuscht." Because he's German. I don't know.
Yeah,
if you guys
thank
know
you.
that.
Yeah, we did. We got that. Yeah.
That's translates to "It's my fault, guys. I have disappointed you all." Top 5 Tillmans I'd rather have. Number 5, Peanut Tillman. Number 4, Xavier Tillman. Number 3, Tillman Fertitta. Number 2, Felicia Tillman from Desperate Housewives. And the number 1 Tillman I'd rather have, Today I Learned Man. T-I-L man. Tillman. That's Dan, by the way. Always learning something.
No Pat
We
Tillman?
figured out where No Shit Sherlock comes from yet?
Yeah, I got that. I got that joke.
Got it.
Not as bad as me saying the Beatles are litigious after hearing a song by the Monkees.
Pochettino. Get a new shirt.
How do you not have Pat
Alex
Tillman in
Morgan.
your Tillmans? How do you not have Pat
What's that?
Tillman in your Tillmans? How does Pat Tillman?
OLI.
Okay.
OLI. Thank you for your service. Pochettino, get a new shirt. Alex Morgan, you're hot. Kristen Pulisic. Pulisic. Soft. Gio Reyna. As in, Gio, I want to rain on your parade. But the U.S. men's national team already did that for you. Sergio Dest. Post-match, chose to keep the messaging positive, telling his teammates, "Alswa dit samauda kuna gehilde dinga bereka."
This show would be killing it in Germany right now.
No, he's Dutch, Dan. Keep up.
Sorry.
He said if we keep this together, we can achieve great things. Weston McKinney. Got to change his name to Aloft McKinney. Which reminds me of the Aloft in Milwaukee that me and Tony stayed at after the Bucks parade.
We brought back stuff that
mural.
time, Dan.
It had a mural of Dante DiVincenzo.
Hand drawn.
Yeah, you got to get Aloft or 4 points or something. Some shit that doesn't have room service. Whatever happened to the Messi of Medford, New Jersey? Remember that guy? They wouldn't shut up about him 4 years ago. Something tells me he's not the Messi anymore. Eddie Vedder must have been Zaz's highlight of the night. You see it? You didn't even see it.
Of course I saw it, and they were playing Pearl Jam in the background when they showed him.
What did he do? What did Eddie Vedder do yesterday?
He had his
That
hand
got the
around a
crowd.
kid. He was taking a picture with the kid.
No. See, you didn't watch the
Oh,
game.
wow.
Eddie
I
Vedder-
took my eye off the television for a second.
It's your guy. That's your guy. That's not my guy.
How do I know
who
when
that
he's about
guy
to
is.
pop up on the screen? I don't know.
If you were watching. But I guess you'll wait for hydration breaks and timeouts and, hey, can we get a 30-second here? Stupid. Alex Freeman, son of NFL star Antonio Freeman. Turns out his stepdad was the driving force behind his soccer career, not Antonio Freeman. And yet, Antonio gets to go be on Corden. The cold world, folks. I feel sorry for Balogun. I can't think of a worse place to be than owing that dude a favor. Donald Trump. In case you guys didn't know which favor. All right. Cabo Verde should have won that game. Not because they played well, which they obviously did. And not because Argentina deserves to lose, because they obviously do. But because the World Cup ain't the same without that fan base. Ugh. Heartbroken. We lost them at the expense of Argentina being happy. That's a special kind of hell. Speaking of hell, Argentina, go to hell. Those are the World Cup observations.
I've got a stat for you guys. You want to guess the record of the United States in World Cup matches when they allow the first goal? Anybody want to guess? They've played 25
Undefeated.
games. 25 games where they have allowed the first goal. You want to guess what the United
24-1.
I recuse
Yesterday
myself
was the first one.
because I happen to know the answer, so I recuse myself.
They're 0-25.
What?
Yeah, so they allow the first goal, and they always lose. Chris Cody, have you heard back yet from Scott McCullough on why it is your mother's employee, what he thinks of the Marlins pulling out Udi Perez after 7 perfect innings?
Zero response.
All right, we'll find out tomorrow. Amin, before we let you go here, your thoughts here now that you've had some time to consume everything that's been written and reported about the Celtics, now that Brad Stevens has spoken. I was saying earlier in the show, I don't even know what second place would be. The Boston Celtics have never been laughed at this way for a transaction. I don't know what second place would be, but have you consumed anything in the last few days that gives you more context that would make you feel like this is slightly less dumb than it appears?
No. In fact, it sounds dumber the more I consume. I heard the story. One of the rival teams that was trying to acquire him was like, we absolutely could have and would have gotten way better than that. They just decided to take the first deal that I guess they saw. Dan, two quick clarifications before I get out of here. Number one, I went to New York out of pocket. I did not get compensated for my flight or my hotel by Meadowlark Media. So this whole, waste money thing. All right, how about let's look at all the times Amin does stuff out of pocket, which I guarantee is way more than anybody else at the company other than you, of course, because everything is out of your pocket. Number two, for Greg Cody, I see that sparkling little diamond on your hand. It's plain to see that you've already got a man.
Do you know who that artist is, Cody?
I don't.
I can tell
Are you
you're not about to fall for any of my lies.
Is this
I
Conway?
see the want to in your eyes.
Very nice. Thank you. Thank you. That's lovely.
I mean, thank you for being on with us. We appreciate it, and we appreciate whenever it is you go out of your own pocket to waste your own money instead of the companies going to New York for a parade and coming back with 60 seconds of content. We appreciate
Happens a lot. Going to Vegas on my own pocket.
Thank you, sir. We appreciate all your good efforts around here and many of your bad ones as well. Can we get the John Oliver footage, please? For those of you who do not know, that show is very difficult to do. Last week tonight is only a half hour, but they're taking a month off because of how that staff has to work. A lot of writers don't know what's going to happen with that show and all the mergers going on, but John Oliver's enjoying the last parts of the doing of that show, if indeed it is the last part of doing that show, by making random appearances on General Hospital.
And oversight, I'll have your name added to the list of approved visitors.
I don't want to be added to the list. I want my daughter back.
Then let me put this in language that you will understand. That ain't gonna happen.
That was him saying that and then getting slapped in the face.
So great.
And then dramatically looking back at her. Like, how dare you do that to me?
Wow.
Not to be rude, a little bit of a papa on John Oliver, right?
Not as bad as Cody's. Play it again.
Look at the papa.
And oversight, I'll have your name added to the list of approved visitors.
I don't want to be added to the list. I want my daughter back.
Then let me put this in language that you will understand. That ain't gonna happen.
Let's bring in Juju here, and we have to get Juju's opinion as well. How did John Oliver? Now, this was it General Hospital? Have you ever watched soap operas?
I have not. No, not a big soap fan.
That's not for me. I don't know. There's still
Unless you're in the pool.
Like there's General Hospital, and then there's what's the other big ones?
Days of Our Lives.
Days of Our Lives.
Guiding Light.
There used to be one called As the World Turns.
Trivia Roy. Trivia Roy, always there.
I think of soap operas as being old timey. Like my mother used to watch soap operas. I'm surprised they still exist.
Yeah. Well, give this a listen or a watch again. How does John Oliver, when he gets smacked here, he gets smacked up hard? How do his glasses stay on? Watch.
That oversight, I'll have your name added to the list of approved visitors.
I don't want to be added to the list. I want my daughter back.
Then let me put this in language that you will understand. That ain't gonna happen.
I mean, Juju, what are those glued to his face? There's no way those glasses should be staying on his face.
Exactly. She slapped fire from my boy. Like, he might have deserved it, too, with that little accent. Excuse me, pardon me, sir. How about what did the five fingers say to the face, John Oliver? Brilliant acting by my boy, though.
Yeah, what was that accent? That ain't gonna happen. What kind of accent was that?
You're asking someone else about accents.
Yeah, I mean, you're not the guy.
That's a play on for my boy.
A play on?
To the listening audience, the lady he's talking to is a Caucasian woman. So that slap, it was warranted if it was what you was thinking for sure, but it must be some other lingo because she slapped fire from my boy from the Caucasian land.
Well, it's excellent acting chops that John Oliver is showing there, but I don't understand how the glasses are remaining on his face. Juju, good to see you, of course. Do we have any jokers of the day today?
Ah, man, brother. The USA in general, bruh. Trump done pulled up. Keeping it real goes wrong. Done told on his damn self. But I saw a USA fan watching the game yesterday. He tried to punk a Belgium fan. The Belgium fan was sitting behind him watching the game, and my boy turned around and gave him one of these. Look at him.
Yeah.
Nothing.
Oh, we got to be better than that.
And look how he turned around. Look, watch how my boy turned around. So defeated, bruh. That brother is the joker of the day, bruh. Because why? Look at him. You know what?
The lamest fake punch in the history of fake punches right here.
I mean, that is not even a remotely threatening fake punch.
He looked at the camera.
What is that?
All right, bro. That brother is the joker of the day, along with just the rest of America from yesterday, man. It was embarrassing. Very embarrassing.
Yeah, really, really weak way to go out, man. We'll get to some polls here coming up in a moment here. But, Juju, I heard we're bringing back today. You have some FAFOs of the month to get to?
Yeah, man. There's been some cringe-worthy moments, man, in this last month, dog. A lot of stuff that just made me be like, ugh, like, I just see the person going through it, and I'm just like, ugh. Number 5, no OLIs. Christian Pulisic. What is this? Like, then you after the game sounding nonchalant. Brother, the nation was relying on you, bro. Like, you sat out certain games to prepare for this moment. Ugh. Number 4, man. The sister who got fired for stealing trash cans. Ugh.
Sweet gig, too.
Right.
Sweet gig.
That's forever on your jacket, bruh. That's going to be, like, people know you for that now. Stealing tea cans. Come on. Ugh. Number 3.
Tea cans.
I'm so sorry, man. The Iranian brother who put on the glasses after he scored the goal. Only for that goal to be taken back because it was offsides. Oh, my goodness. It was the whole country. It was their first chance getting there, too. Still in my heart, brother. Number 2, and this might be a Two America situation, but damn it, it has to happen on the show. This is a Miami show. B2K, brothers. B2K hopped into a versus matchup with Miami's own Pretty Ricky, and Pretty Ricky spanked that baby all across the stage, 18-0. I promise it is big on the other side of America.
Baby, grind on me. Relax your time. Take your time with me. Come on, Pretty Ricky and the Mavericks.
Something that might shock everyone here is that my cousin lived with the group Pretty Ricky for about 6 months when he was in high
And the
school.
Mavericks?
Wow. Say more. Say a lot more words, Jeremy.
That's all I really got for you. But he lived with them. He was a hip hop producer in his own right.
Oh, nice.
And he didn't speak like me.
Hello. And the number one messed around and found out brother of the whole month, my ex-partners. I felt what you said too, Zaz. You hate agreeing with RG3. I hated that my allies was these people for so long. But Celtics fans, this is for you. Damn it. Pause.
How's the search for a new team coming along for you?
Man, I'm getting a lot of offers from Philadelphia right now. My girl, she loves Philly. She's going to Philly because she like what they got going on. They haven't won in a while, and it wouldn't be bandwagony to go there if I'm a Jaylen Brown fan. I hear you, but I got to see where LeBron James ends up before I make a decision.
Juju, the water's nice down here. Nice and warm.
Exactly. Exactly, bro. I feel you, Chris. So I got my eye on Miami right now as well.
All right.
Nice.
Juju, let's give out some show awards. What can we do today?
Brothers, the Man on the Street award today goes to my brother 10-Day Tizzle, man.
Yeah. Good job,
to the bottom.
Good job. Glad of you right there.
Expose the heat, bruh. How dare they get rid of them jerseys so fast? It's some people who would have bought them 34s. Embarrassing.
Can we give an award to Scott McCullough?
Good job, Scott.
Yeah. Being
good
referenced
job.
on the show today.
Yeah, you're not Clinton.
Didn't get back to me yet, but just shout out to Scott.
Yeah, good job, Scott.
Also, I want to give the Out of Pocket award to my brother Amin El Hassan.
Yeah, no pockets. Got no pockets.
You do it more than anyone.
I don't understand. I feel like
Double
Amin was
entendre.
telling us our players are not as intelligent as players from other countries. That's what it sounded like to me. I don't know. I don't get it.
Exactly. And lastly, I want to give the Kick, Save, and the Butte award to my brother and yours, Ron McGill, man.
Woo, that was scary.
We need to get my boy a Rosetta Stones ASAP. Because she was molesting the mantis is crazy to say. Salute to my brother, Ron McGill, though. And Sean, I see you, bro.
Juju, we're going to get to our polls in a second here, but you are right about McGill there. I thought we were going in a very dangerous direction. I mean, he was very mad at that woman. I thought she was about to catch a very large insult from Ron McGill.
I felt bad for the woman. She got a praying mantis on her head. What's she supposed to do?
Oh, that's FAFO.
Maybe don't put your face right in front of the praying mantis is what Ron was
She was
arguing.
laughing also, for what it's worth.
Yeah, she wasn't scared, so I guess that's all right. Juju, let's get to our polls here. What do we got?
If you change RG3 to RG1, have you promoted or demoted him?
Good question.
66% of the audience says demoted, my boy.
There's an asterisk.
He another person I think we should stop letting him make headlines. Who gives a damn what RG3 has to say after certain tweets he's had? Neither here nor there. Do you Do you love hold music? 78% of the audience says no, they do not.
There's an asterisk.
Has Wemby ever given anyone a legitimate high five?
Fine.
65% of the audience says no, Gregory.
There's an asterisk.
While I got you here, I'd like to remind everyone to go listen to the Greg Cody podcast featuring my boy Greg Cody today.
Thank you.
And does someone need to take Brandon Ayuk's phone away expeditiously? 96% of the audience says yes, they do.
There's an asterisk.
And while I have you, I'd like to remind you to go listen to South Beach Sessions right now. They got Edie Patterson on that guy this week from Gemstones. You feel me? As well as my boy got Jordan Shusterman, man, on the pitch clock, man. Salute to Jeremy. Salute. But last poll. Did Dan D'Antoni's parents do him dirty by naming his ass Dan? 91% of the audience says yes, and those are your polls.
There's an asterisk.
Folks, listen up. Win or go home. That's what the Cup Knockout Round is all about. And DraftKings Sports has you covered for every single match. The DraftKings app is now available in all 50 states and includes all markets, bringing the game straight to your fingertips wherever you are, from Florida to Texas to California to the hills of Tennessee. You're in on the excitement at the speed of sports. No matter where you're watching, you're always connected and in the game with one app. New DraftKings customers, sign up with code Dan, spend $5 and get $200 in rewards within 21 days. That's code Dan in partnership with DraftKings. The crown is yours.
Thank you. Good night, everybody.